and welcome to the arena as we get ready to do a little bit of a departure from our normal Thursday broadcasting. You know, we've done Hearthstone a little bit for the past couple weeks, and we've done some Smash Bros. But today, we're going to jump in to a new game, one that we've never done before, with a familiar cast of characters, as we are going to be going to do a rivalry rematch for ICCU and Boise State in Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, if Rivals didn't tip you off in that intro there. Marvel Rivals. It's going to be pretty fun. And, you know, there's a lot of cool stuff that can happen in here. Marvel Rivals, very different from Overwatch, even though they do follow the same format. And it's going to be our friends over at ICCU versus some of our employees here at the arena and some of the players here as well. And even the famed Doc Haskell will be making an appearance as the self-proclaimed Sigma main. Oh, wait, no, not Sigma.
Sigma 1... Well,
there's no Sigma in this game. It's Magneto. But, you know, similar abilities. They can both fly. They both attract stuff. I mean, one's gravity and one's metal. But, you know, same difference.
Yeah, and as we're getting ready to jump into it, we, of course, have the Marvel Rival keys to the game. In Marvel Rivals, you pummel your opponent. Yes, the multiverse is real. You assemble that squad. You know the map like how Spider-Man knows Queens, and ults equal Infinity Stones. All of this is brought to you by ICCU, and thank you to ICCU for their continued support of Boise State Esports. Thanks to ICCU, Boise State Esports has won multiple national championships and filled up more than 1,500 wins. ICCU, looking after your daily balance. Visit ICCU.com. And we're excited to get into this matchup in a new game that we just don't get to talk about a lot, much at all, because we're primarily focused on Overwatch, and Marvel Rivals is the new kid on the scene, just coming out this, you know, past or last season, I suppose, of esports.
I think it's just around the 6-month corner, which is weird to think about.
We're about to jump into the new season pretty soon.
Yeah, Season 2 of the game. It started out with Season 0, you know, as you do, which is a little odd because you don't have a 0th thing.
I mean, hey, as a programmer, I'm not complaining because programmers count 0, 1, 2, 3 instead of 1, 2, 3, but I agree for most people it's a little strange. But as we're getting ready into a new season, we're going to preview a new game as we're going to check in on the map selection, going to Hell's Heaven, you know, based off of course, the character Hela, and a lot of fun things. You know, that's one of the things I really like about Marvel's Rivals is all of the character
I don't want to be the actually guy, but Hell's Haven was the Hydra base that they had. Winter Soldier.
You're so right. See, I'm forgetting my lore. You know, just of course as I'm talking about all the references, I forget the reference myself, but that's okay, as we are going to jump into it, and we will be doing picks and bans, notably here, as both teams will get to remove characters that they don't want to play against and pick those they want to see. We are going to be starting off with the ICCU match, where two teams from ICCU will be facing off against each other to determine who will be going up against Boise State.
Yeah, and it does look like Cloak and Dagger is going to be brought off the table really quickly. I don't think Celestial Rose is going to be too happy about that one. You know, Cloak and Dagger is a fairly consistent pick when it comes to supports. I mean, not only do you not have to really aim as much, you can get a lot more value. The primary fire for Dagger, which is the healing side of Cloak and Dagger, bounces off walls and can still home, and both of them can apply either a buffed healing or a increased damage to whoever they hit. And it looks like a Spider-Man band's going to be coming through as well.
You know, we were talking about Spider-Man a little bit before this, and Luna Snow as well, and with all the picks and bans in place, the teams can now lock in who they would like to play. As we mentioned, that Cloak and Dagger ban might be a little problematic for this team here, but it looks like they're going to swap to Rocket here, as we do know that the top team, Team Blue, is going to be ICCU ATM, and below is ICCU Bankers. So these will be the two ICCU teams facing off, and while they're facing off, the Boise State teams will be facing off against each other to determine who will be going up against each other in the later rounds.
Yeah, and there's a lot of heat in the air because both of our Boise State teams are being run by our two coaches. The first one, Dave Matthews' band, is being run by Coach K, our coach for our Rocket League team, and then our second Boise State team is Loki carrying. Now, notice that I did not say low-key, I said Loki, as in the character that One Chair is playing on ICCU Banker's side. And that is being run by Doc Haskell, who is also going to be playing for the team. But that is for later. We're going to have to figure out who won that match after this one comes out.
Yeah.
But 7 seconds till showtime on the first sub-map of Hell's Heaven.
Yeah, we're getting ready to jump right into it with the mission area unlocking in 30 seconds. It's all about getting to the spot and getting set up as we see Bankers moving forward here, taking this route around by the door. Something fun about this game is the destructible surfaces, as we see using this to get a little bit of a shortcut and go a different direction than normal here. As the first interactions begin, Dr. Strange moving to the front here, giving some room for his team, but is going to get stunned. Going to be rough as they have to back off a little bit here and look for their opportunities, but Loki causing some mayhem. They better watch out for Punisher here. Could be dangerous, but they are able to take him out, though not before he takes down 2 players.
Yeah, I mean, you can run in really fast like that, and sometimes it really does work out well. But both teams are running a Rocket Loki backline. Looks like Bobby is going to be taking out the Loki, Jiraiya Sept from ICCU Bankers, but with the point captured already for ICCU ATM, it's not going to put them too far away from the next team fight. Oh! Big pick from Sol on
my goodness.
second onto Celestial Rose. That is all the healing out of ICCU Bankers, and they're going to have to either back out or try and fight this out. Venom with a symbiotic shielding ability, trying to keep himself up. ChatGPT also trying to get in for a little bit of action, but is forced out before he can do anything. And unfortunately, Venom is going to fall to the Punisher.
Yeah, they better watch out. Bucky behind Strange with the backup, but Hawkeye able to also get a knockout here. As we've been talking about, ICCU ATM has been holding down the fort here as both teams are just looking for that opportunity. So far, 54% onto the objective, giving a lot of room to work with for the team here. While the Bankers need to find their footing, with the map changing up a little bit as well, they're going to have to be careful about how they choose to move in.
Yeah, this map is kind of notoriously hard to attack into, right, if you've lost the first point. And the Bankers are really starting to figure this out. They weren't able to take that loan for a smaller API, and unfortunately for them, the ATM is getting the best of them in that regard, getting a little bit more return on investment when it comes to that. Disco Pang getting a lot of damage up front. He has his ultimate ability with the Punisher in order to get some stuff done here. ChatGPT on the Magneto trying to get in. Oh wait, no, he's not ChatGPT.
I was wondering. I was wondering how long it was going to be before you.
Hey,
noticed there.
The only thing that's the difference is the age, but I will tell you one thing that'll make a difference. This point getting to 100%, giving ICCU a 1-map lead.
And a great spot to be in. Also, really no ultimates used just yet, so we're going to be seeing a lot of mayhem in the next map here as we move on to the Eldritch Monument objective.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can happen on this map in particular. There's 3 main lanes, there's a higher ground, there's a lower ground, but then also the middle goes up and down as well, meaning it's a lot harder to really attack into the middle depending on what side it is. If it's down low, it's a lot easier to run in, you have the height advantage, and there's a lot more shenanigans that can be done with it. And did I see that wrong? Oh, wait, no, I did see it wrong. Oh wait, no, Loki did! One Chair used his ult in the spawn room on accident. I was wondering why I heard the Punisher's ultimate sound effects.
Same. I noticed the effect and I'm like, that doesn't seem right. But with that, we're going to jump into the match. Loki unfortunately losing out on that, as we're going to see a swap from the Bankers going from Venom to Mr. Fantastic, looking for potentially that team-up buff between Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic there as we jump into the mission area unlock. Now, the thing that is always rough about this map too is that the objective, not always, but can start at that lower ground position, and now you have to deal with that. It will move eventually, but for now it's a weird spot. But as I say that, we hear Winter Soldier going straight into the ult, and a huge knockout there onto ICCU ATM.
Captain Hook is really some work.
Whoa, but he better be careful.
Big damage. He wasn't able to hit that hook, though, but if he lives for long enough to withstand the Bucky ult, he cannot refresh that. Dat Blondie got really close to refreshing his ult. He does get the kill in the end, but his ult is gone, and Magneto, manages to cut him down with the sword.
Yeah,
Disco
cleaning that
Pang.
up here. But we'll have to be careful. Disco Pangolin taking some pot shots from the back, and with the help of Hawkeye, taking down the Scarlet Witch, making some moves onto the point here, as ICC Bankers have been able to gain some momentum, but with Judge, Jury, Executioner up on the board, we're going to see there the ultimate going out, but that's a lot of damage they have to be careful of. Magneto goes down, so does Mr. Fantastic, and the supports following behind there. Is that actually?
Oh no, that was
that's
Human Torch.
Yep, that's Human Torch. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I love
Johnny
trying
Storm.
to see him in the background there, but Johnny Storm going down. With that, 3 of the Bankers are out, giving ATM room to work with to bring up their percentages here, as we see, starting to gain the lead.
A lot of ults left on the board to use. You have the Mr. Fantastic ult, you have God of Mischief and Loki, you have Worlds Divine, and out comes the Mr. Fantastic ult. But the fields from Loki are able to prevent a lot of that damage from going through. I have Agamotto comes through, and that is going to be the end of the Bankers push.
Yeah, Magneto trying to back off, but it is unable to go through, getting just a little slap from Doctor Strange with the melee there, knocking him out, and the Bankers will have to reset. Loki better be careful there with his clones.
I'm so used to hearing it said, the Eye of Mama Coco from Instagram.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's been like we were talking about earlier, how, like, the ultimates and the names and everything changing, but Loki, wasting no time, going for the ultimate here on the ATM side. As we check in, it looks like one share going for the Doctor Strange ult, isn't able to fully get what he wants with it. He does get one there, but is able to create some space once again for ICCU ATM. Scarlet Witch trying to go for the ult, but is taken out by Soul the Moon. Approaching that 100% here. It is that final stand. Both teams looking for their ultimates. Moon Knight using his ultimate to try and create some space, and we see once again Winter Soldier going for the ability. If you didn't know, once again from Dat Blondie here. Now into overtime, Mr. Fantastic all on his own here, trying to hang on to the point, but it's not going to work out. Disco Pangolin taking him down. The timer is up, and they're able to take the second objective.
Well, I mean, there's only so many agains you can handle before your team unfortunately falls to the hand of Hydra, which the ICCU ATM is going to take full advantage of to take their first point in this best of 3.
Yeah. Now that we've gotten a little bit of a warm-up here, we'll be able to see where these teams go next. With the Bankers starting to gain some momentum, though, ultimately ATM taking them down. And I will say, Disco Pangolin really holding on strong there with the most knockouts, but Hawkeye, man, with those good snipe shots, as you would expect from playing Hawkeye. Really good for knocking out those supports and I think stalling out the Bankers there.
Yeah, and especially going up against a Scarlet Witch, you want something that can take him out really quick.
You don't want that to go through.
Yeah, okay, first off, I wasn't even referring to the ultimate, but that is a good point. It's so slow that you can pretty much snipe them out of the air.
I remember right at the beginning of the game how horrifying hearing the voice line was. You were like, where is she? Knock her out. But even then, like we were talking about earlier, she has some really strong just util and abilities in general.
Yeah, the thing is about Scarlet Witch is that she is notoriously hard to kill. You have 2 immortality abilities, a weapon that is, or a main weapon that doesn't have what it makes up for in range. You do not have to be super accurate. In fact, somebody was testing it. You can have somebody almost to the opposite side of your screen and it will still lock onto you. It's
insane.
It is insane. And if you didn't think she had enough utility already, she has a ranged attack that has splash damage too. And then she powers up Magneto, arguably one of the best tanks in the game. So do with that what you will. But Scarlet Witch is a really good person to get out of the game as soon as possible.
Yeah, and that's why Hawkeye is a very good choice for dealing with that potential terrifying prospect of an ultimate. Honestly, I really like her voice line because I think it does a good job of invoking the terror when you start to hear her activate the ultimate. And I think that's honestly some of the fun with like a lot of them. You know, the classic meme of Bucky going again. You can just you know what's happening. It's really obvious. And overall, though, you know, we got to see a good array of the ultimates there, and I'm excited to see what shenanigans kind of occur going forward. As we got to see a little bit of Loki with the ultimate swap up, but that unfortunate accidental use at the beginning.
Yeah.
Meant we didn't get to see it as much, you know?
So there is a strategy rolling around the internet currently for Marvel Rivals. It's called Gator. I'm sure that you're familiar with GOATs from Overwatch. Go all tank, one support. Or wait, no, go all tanks and supports. We're going to Central Park for the second map, but I want to continue my rant on Gator.
I mean, they can see on the screen, so we're good.
So basically, GOATs, go all tanks and supports. Now there is Gator. Go all tanks and one rocket.
Yep, yeah.
Because rocket, he doesn't stack heals depending on how many orbs are out. It's a flat amount of damage. But it doesn't matter when the health bars are so large and they do so much damage that you just roll through them anyway. So it's a very popular strategy right now.
I will be curious to see if we see anything like that. So far, we've been staying in the 2-2-2 range for most of this area that I've seen so far, you know, with at least, you know, the one tank and the two supports. But, you know, we'll just have to see what they choose to go with. I think the fun of having the different, like, matchups and not having the locked roles is very interesting. I mean, it's very much like way early Overwatch, because that was how it was before they decided to lock the role queue.
Yeah, and it allows for a lot more expression of what to play. Do you need more survivability? Stack 5 supports and 1 DPS, or maybe a tank. You are having trouble holding on to the point? Go 6 tanks. What's the worst that can happen?
Right? I mean, yeah, you never know, right? Well, and the way that they've been building a lot of the characters means that they don't feel like completely locked into tank, support, DPS. They have their preferences, but they feel a lot more like adaptable right now. And so at least some characters feel very strongly
I was about to say, you can do a lot of stuff, but Bucky is not a very good tank or a support.
That's true. I mean, I'd say the DPS characters probably feel the most like their role, but it's like with tanks and supports, right? There is stuff you can do. I have seen some crazy setups with the supports taking out. I had a friend playing Cloak and Dagger, and the amount of KOs that they would pick up was insane. And same with like tanks just like holding down the fort as well. I mean, it's really supports that feel like they can like do the most variety of things. It just depends on like players and how you're playing and how you're feeling too. Like if a healer isn't healing and they don't need to do it, then that just means it's going to be terrifying to spot them sniping you from across the map or something.
It's like Mantis just sitting on a perch like Batman. I mean,
I'm waiting.
I'm Mantis. Feel my wrath.
The next Guardians of the Galaxy movie, I would not be shocked if Mantis did something like that, because I mean, that's just how she is.
You know, I'd like to see a team up with Mantis and the Punisher. It's like chill out.
That would be really funny, yeah.
Like it changes up all of the Punisher's voice lines, and all like the only thing it really does is give him a small speed boost. But like all of his really angry, gruff and I hate the world and everything.
I would love
and then you just have Mantis like be friendly.
I love the idea of Mantis just like chiming in and being like, no.
We talked about this in anger management.
We talked about this like earlier. What's a constructive way to talk about your feelings? Granted, the Punisher isn't the only character on the roster who could use a little bit of like talking time, anger management, or just like good venting time. You know, I mean, being a hero, you know, there's no problems with that. You know, like you're not stressed at all. But I mean, at least they get to have some fun in this, you know, complete multiverse shattering, right? You know.
Well, yeah, I mean, hey,
they're not fighting vampires right now.
True. I mean, sure, you're miserable and depressed, but like. You can swing webs like Spider-Man, so how depressed can you actually be?
I feel like Spider-Man was the worst character to pick for that, because Spider-Man is the punching bag of, like, the Marvel, just, like, comics and sometimes the movies.
He's
true.
The punching bag of Marvel Rivals.
I mean, he has,
doesn't help he's shaped
you
like
either
one,
love
too.
him or you hate him. There's no really in-between with Jeff for a lot of people.
You know, I feel like it's like a pendulum. It swings.
Oh, yeah, no.
It depends, because if you're playing against a Jeff in Marvel Rivals, you want nothing more than
for him to be gone,
throw that Jeff off of the map and hope he never respawns. He is one of those characters where he's not super great for the role that he was given because he doesn't heal very much. I mean, his stuff, he has a little bit of AoE with his bubbles
You know,
and
if
speed.
he can, like, focus you, he's really good. But overall, like, getting the whole team is really hard.
There's better supports for it.
I will say, though, one of our casters at the arena plays a lot of Jeff, and I was playing Thor at the time, and we were playing a match together, and there was a good hallway that we were holding down the point from, and he's like, just run straight down there. If you don't leave my line of sight, I'm literally just going to heal in that direction. And I just held the line because they weren't dealing enough damage to outdeal with just Jeff focusing me. And it ended up being really funny. But so he's really good at that, but you know, if the rest of the team needs support, it's really hard. And also, how many times do people actually walk into Jeff's bubbles? Like, that's to give Jeff some credit.
The thing is, there could be a ledge to the left and a bubble to the right, and your teammates will choose neither of those and run straight towards the enemy.
Exactly,
so.
yeah, you know. But his ultimate's really silly in a fun way. I just love that one of the first things people figured out was, instead of spitting people off the map, if I jump off the map with them, it's a guaranteed knockout.
Well, I mean, it's the new adage: spitters are quitters. You go off the map with everybody else. If you're gonna kill 5, you should expect to kill 6, including yourself.
Yeah, no, that's it's a funny setup, and I enjoy some of the shenanigans we've seen. And speaking of shenanigans, there's Iron Fist potentially.
Yeah, use him while you still can, because he is getting nerfed to the ground next season, starting tomorrow.
Yeah, many people will rejoice with that one because
I am one of them.
Yeah, honestly, as a tank who would actually pay attention when the supports were getting attacked by him, trying to actually knock him out was abysmal. And taking a look at these bans here, it does seem like we really do not want to see Wolverine tonight.
No.
On the side of the bankers here, as it looks like the picks are going to be Doctor Strange and Cloak and Dagger, and Luna Snow is going to be banned. Looks like Cloak and Dagger will make it through this time. Celestial Rose is probably very happy about that one, as we see. And
Rocket gets banned, too.
Rocket gets banned. They heard you talking about the Gator strategy and didn't want to see it happen.
Well, I mean, from the looks of things, Team Bankers doesn't really know what they want to play currently. I mean, Celestial Rose has got their pick locked in. They don't want to see Moon Knight, though.
Oh, hey, look, it's Spider-Man.
It is Spider-Man.
Speaking of Spider-Man, as we were talking about earlier.
It's Iron Fist. I've been preying on your downfall since day one. Enjoy your time in the limelight.
Oh, we might be getting Cloak and Dagger from both sides. Squirrel Girl, potentially, as well. I really enjoy her inclusion in Marvel Rivals. It's fun to see her around, and her abilities are really goofy.
Sane Junkrat, essentially.
Yeah, well, I mean, and she's the character where you don't ever knock out the person you're intending on knocking out, but you knocked out like 3 people.
Yeah, you killed the person after 4 bounces from your acorn that still does 150 damage somehow. Also, I do find Squirrel Girl a little bit funny in this game because you'd think somebody who has 2 stuns, a really good vertical, potentially a 3rd stun too if you have Spider-Man on your team, to be not that strong. But you essentially get them caught, and then they just can't do anything, and they explode. And it's kind of funny how acorns can deal that much damage.
I know. I mean, that's like the whole bit with her character, right? Is she seems like she shouldn't be the one winning fights, but she does that all the time. Like, her whole thing is that she beats people you never expect. But as we're checking in on Spider-Man, I see we have the Bagman skin here as we're jumping into the chaos. Spider-Man trying to back off, going around hiding by the rock while he recharges his abilities, moving forward to go back into the fray.
Oh, they know all the Spider-Man tech. They're doing zipping around at the speed of sound, but how well is it going to work out against the Iron Man?
Yeah, we'll have to find out. They do have a potential way to deal with it. Looking at the main tank brawl area, Hulk having to back off away from both Thor and Doctor Strange, though Thor gets launched away here by Groot, having to recover and run back. So far, holding strong on this side, as ICCU ATM is able to defend and keep them away. Thor looking for some opportunities from the side. Ooh, getting exiled is going to be rough for Soul, but they are able to they don't get punished for it, so they're able to back up and recover, continue forward. Already at 3 minutes, and Bankers have had no room to work. However, ATM starting to get backed up here. Tanks moving in. Cat looking for an opportunity. Going to get knocked down to Banner and insta knocked out by Hawkeye there. Yeah, I don't blame them. You do not want Hulk to be able to recover from that.
Although Disco Pangolin is going to be able to take out the Invisible Woman Mercenary 8000, meaning the advance is going to be halted for just a little bit, but Celestial Rose with the Cloak and Dagger ultimate is going to be able to deal a lot of damage and heal the team at the same time. Missy Benz with the Squirrel Girl showing off a lot of the power, but you know, here's the thing. Who is currently putting in some serious work on the point side of the Invisible Woman ult. Out comes the Eye of Agamotto, dealing tons of damage, but Dat Blondie is going to be taken out quick. Cat GBT dealing a ton of damage.
Yeah, with those 3 knockouts, ICC Banker is able to get a foot onto the point, getting to their second bar here, steadily closing on their third. If not careful here, ICC ATM is not going to be able to stop it, and they are able to get Ratatosker moving, right? That is Ratatosker.
Yeah, that is Ratatosker.
I love Ratatosker. Yep, there he is.
The rat, squirrel, horse, unicorn. Speaking of squirrels, the invincible squirrel tsunami comes out, rushing straight towards the ATM. And unfortunately, these squirrels aren't here to make a deposit, as that Gaioki found out the hard way. I mean, Soul manages to kill the invincible Squirrel Tsunami, so a little bit of false advertising there. Taking
I was going to say, it's a little invincible, it looks like. Though not without taking out someone else. Thing backing off here. Bankers looking for their opportunity. And I mean, Hawkeye just taking the pot shots he needs to. Sees Iron Man in the air, duking it out with Spider-Man, tries to give him a little bit of help here as they back off, and it is going to be the downfall of Iron Man. Captain Hook going down.
Awesome.
Oh!
Out comes the Incredible Hulk, but one chair is going to take out Missy Benz really quick and forcing Jiraiya back into the corner as to not take any more damage. But one chair is just showing why Spider-Man was banned in the last round, being kind of a pub stomper if put in the right hands.
Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man's all about jumping into the backline, being a general menace to everyone he is. I guess J. Jonah Jameson was right about that one there, as he is able to effectively take it out.
No! He was going
denied!
to!
Completely denied.
Why didn't they let him do the funny?
He'll get to do it later as Dat Blondie takes down Mercenary. Wow, the Banker's getting just completely halted at this point here. Ratatosker has really not been moving, just kind of sitting here confused as Cat GPT goes down as well.
The most horrifying thing in this game is you do not see an Iron Man, but you hear maximum impulse.
Exactly, but he's not around anymore.
No, he is
getting
very dead.
Knocked out. Actually,
just like
after getting knocked out by Hawkeye, he does do the swap to Hawkeye himself. Checking back in on Hawkeye, he's trying to go for Groot, looking for the potential knockout. Invisible Woman comes in to back him up. Ultimate going through.
Big support ultimates off of both sides.
Yeah.
Cloak and Dagger ult is able to keep them up. Soul is able to div Captain Hook and Mercenary 8000 both falling in the process. Soul does go down to strangling to prison from Groot, but unfortunately Disco Pangolin manages to fell that tree with his axe. The Thing manages to capitalize on a little bit of the confusion, and you throw haymakers left, right, and center, and it is almost the Thing's favorite time. Pummeling time.
Pummeling time.
It is almost pummeling time. But Cat GPT back on the Magneto, making a little bit of use out of Missy Benz on the Scarlet Witch. See if that has a little bit of use. And now that Captain Hook is on Namor.
Look at him sneaking around the backline here, going to charge in from behind, surprising the Groot jumping away before getting completely knocked out, and then backing up Strange here. The Groot wall is going to be a little bit of a problem, but nothing he can't move around. Continuing the assault here, moving forward to go down. not to him, but with his assistance here, helping keep the Bankers back for another bit. With 30 seconds left on the clock, there's not a lot of time for them to move forward. They need to get on that point, and soon.
He's caught in the walls.
Oh, he's got to back off. Running away, he is able to find a health pack, trying to run upstairs, but we're going to swap over to Spider-Man, trying to look for his opportunities around. Bankers are able to make a bit of a breakthrough with one of the tanks gone, and are able to get back on the point, holding out for a little bit longer. They are going to go into an overtime situation, it looks like, which is a dangerous spot to be in, but so far they do have the setup, and we'll have to see, can they make it all the way to the next checkpoint here?
The anti from the Eye of Agamotto does come out, but out comes Scarlet Witch with the ult, but it's not going to do anything if they get webbed. Disco Pangolin manages to get a pick before going down themselves. But is it going to matter for the ATMs? Maximum Pulse comes out. Do they see it? Yes, they do.
Oh, good
Bobby manages to shield it just barely. Out comes Strangling Prison, and it does catch a few. One chair taking out Captain Hook in the duel. The invisible barrier comes through as well, keeping him up, as well as Cloak and Dagger ult. And now that a lot of ults are off the board, how is this going to play out? Eye of Agamotto comes through, finds Mercenary 80,000, and is this going to be the end for the ICCU Bankers push? CatGPT, Jiraiya set blessed on the point as the group. Can he get anything in time? No, he can't. Point ticks over to the IETM, and this time they're going to be taking a withdrawal of several meters. Now, they managed to capture one.
Yep, they managed to get to Ratatoskr there.
Yeah.
So it is going to be a matter of, can they hold back ICCU ATM from getting farther than they did here?
Well, you see, here's the thing.
Not yet, but close.
That is the dumbest meme to come out of Marvel Rivals, though.
Here's the thing.
Just here's the thing. Throw up PNG of the thing.
Ooh, we're getting
Ben
some
Grimm.
swap-ups as well. Adam Warlock and
Penny Parker as well.
Penny Parker. We're getting all the Parkers. We're having a little bit of a Parker versus Parker situation here, it looks like, with ATM going with the classic and ICCU Bankers going in for the new, it looks like. And we're going to see who can take it, as it looks like Dat Blondie is thinking a little bit harder and a little bit longer on what they want to play this time around. The rest of them getting ready to set up. ICCU Bankers going for that defense. And, you know, swapping to Penny Parker for that makes sense. It is something she is very skilled at.
It does look like they know the Spider-Mine technique with Penny Parker, where you do not need to, or your mines go invisible if you are inside of the webs. Disco Pangolin is on the Iron Fist here, kind of the dread of all support mains. Missy Benz trying to...
Yeah, and I mean, he's going to... We already see him jumping around back, trying to jump in and take out Scarlet Witch. He does get stunned and is going to go down. Not able to take him out immediately, as it also looks like, you know, we're going to do...
A little bit of Black Panther.
Yeah, we're going to swap. Yeah, get Dat Blondie onto Black Panther. Also going to try and move into the backline, but they are ready for him. Throwing the spear, trying to get some knockouts. It's not going to go his way, but it does create some disruption for his team in the front here as they go for the revive. ICCU Bankers trying to hold down the fort here. Penny Parker with the webs all over the place, really trying to lock down this first hallway here. Groot creating walls that are just such a pain in the butt to get around. And we can see, once again, Disco Pangolin looking to try and find those critical areas, but getting shut down once again.
You know, I'm
super aware of that right now.
I like the idea that the Bankers have right now. You are really struggling with the Spider-Man on your attack, so let's bunker down as much as possible. But it's not going to really help too much when that guy Oates manages to get his Cloak and Dagger ult out as well. Oki gets two. CatGPT and Celestial Rose. That is both support ultimates off the table. Strangling Prison gets two. CatGPT brought back with his resurrection ability and takes Dat Blondie out on his way back to the point. Manages to get Bobby as well, but it is a 2v1. Disco Pangolin doing some serious work, and it is Mercenary and, oh wait, no, Missy's back. They managed to hold on through the Cloak and Dagger ultimate.
They are holding on, and not enough progress has been made for ICCU ATM yet, though with 2 minutes left on the clock, they still have room to work with. Spider-Man looking for an opportunity, but once again, Missy Benz is really watching that corner, knowing that's exactly where both Iron Fist and Spider-Man want to jump in from. Though, Penny Parker going for the ultimate here, creating some extra space for the team, and Eye of Agamotto goes out as well, trying to take down Invisible Woman. They are successful, but a lot of damage taken, going to have to shield from above. Bobby does not want to get knocked out here, as they want to try their best to create a presence on this point, as ICCU Bankers really, like you said, wants to bunker down. As another ult goes out from Spider-Man here, but he is going to go down to Mercenary.
You know, I will say ICCU Bankers had the right idea to bunker down like that, but the issue is that they got, they didn't get counterpicked per se, but they just found the weaknesses in their strategy, and out comes the Living Chi from Iron Fist, dealing the finishing blow to Cat GBT and Celestial Rose as they come back.
Yeah, that's going to be
and their Missy Beats to finish things out, unfortunately.
Finally getting the knockout on the Scarlet Witch that he's been looking for here, as also Dat Blondie swapping off of Black Panther and going on to Star-Lord instead.
Probably the better pick here.
I mean, there's a lot more open air too as well.
A lot more open air, and also you can contest the Iron Man a lot easier when you have free flight as well.
Yep. Now we're gonna jump out over here. We see Captain Hook TTV up here, getting a lot of damage. We're gonna have to be pushed back already. Getting really close to where ICCU Bankers were previously. Dangerous spot for them. The bunker down strategy is not working for them as well, as they're just getting pushed back farther and farther. Adam Warlock going for the rest here.
Unfortunately, trying to barter down that used car did not really work out in the end, as ATM manages to secure their second victory and managing to advance to play the winner of the Boise State feud that was happening at the same time.
Yeah. Now, this won't be the end for the ICCU Bankers. They will just not be going on to the finals match. We will be watching a loser's bracket match. However, that's not the thing we're immediately jumping into. Before we get to see the next matchups in Marvel Rivals here, we will be getting to check in football for a little bit and see a little bit of a different matchup than we were seeing previously.
Yeah, some good old American College Football 25, the tried and true classic. But before we go into that, we are going to take a short break. So stick around, because we have plenty more coming, and it should be just as fun to watch as what's been shown previously.
Idaho Central Credit Union, looking after your daily balance.
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app. I know this car got you through college, but check this out. In my credit, your credit score looks good. And there's a great rate on this auto loan, so we can score a roomier ride. Whoa, who's driving this thing? The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Home is where you hang your hat, snuggle up, hide out. Home is when you're with the ones you love. It isn't just a place, it's a state of mind. At Idaho Central Credit Union, our home is Idaho. We grew up here, and we're proud to help more Idahoans with their home loan than any other financial institution. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe home is where you make it.
Scott Matlock, underrated recruit, has built himself into one of the best defensive players in the Mountain West.
What would you do if you couldn't fail? Would you see every setback as a catalyst to keep going? This is the innovator's mindset, because innovation demands daring. It's finding thousands of ways that don't work, and the one that changes everything. It's when your unrelenting spirit sees the world's needs and says, I will create something better. So, what will you do? Will you let your genius run wild? Give yourself the space to be great? Set your sights on something even bigger, because we know changing the world doesn't happen by chance. It comes out of the blue.
It's the end of a good day's work in Idaho. Time to punch out. Time to check in and catch up. Time to remind ourselves that what we work for isn't a paycheck. It's to make the good things we have even better. So here's to your good day's work. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe money is a thing. It's not everything.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Boise State Esports Arena. We are coming off of a fairly exciting game against both of the ICCU Marvel Rivals teams, where the ATMs managed to edge out a victory against the Bankers. Not very often you see the ATM pulling in more money than the Bankers themselves, but this is one of those rare exceptions. We are going to be taking a small detour from the Marvel Rivals gameplay and moving towards something that Boise State got put on the map for this year in College Football 25. And, you know, I think this is going to be a good one. We have our Mountain West champion out here playing for us tonight. He's going to be playing as the Boise State Broncos football team. Now, college football is a little bit odd. I mean, it goes with all the different teams from that year, but that means that certain teams are always going to be better than others. I mean, you got the Crimson Tide, you got the Razorbacks. So who do we think that we're going to see our friends over at ICCU play for this matchup?
I feel like every time I see two people, one of them is always Alabama. So I wouldn't be surprised, like statistically, that seems like the favorite pick of most people. Just they've got that storied success in real life, and sometimes it does carry over to the game. But I do like those colors on BSU a little bit more, I have to say.
That is a totally fair statement. I like their colors a bit more. However, maybe they're going to counterpick with Penn State. Relive a little bit of trauma
soon,
that was
too soon. It's been a while,
given
and
out.
it's still too soon.
A little too soon, but I mean, it was right there.
You just ruined the mood, man. I don't even want to watch the game anymore.
Hey, hey, maybe they're going to play the Vandals. You never know.
That would be an interesting pick for sure, but I think just it's gonna be a weird kind of matchup. It's always so weird seeing like people that you know, like that you've seen like around in real life, and they're like in a video game. Like a lot of the BSU players, like I've seen them about, like I know who some of them are. They've been in this area, and it's like they're in the game right now. That's so strange.
You know it can be
They're
only
in
one
the
place
video
in the
game,
world.
but here we go on to the field. Boise State rocking the classic, pristine black colors. One of my personal favorite jersey combination. I mean, black and blue doesn't normally go together, but it definitely complements each other in this sense. But who will the blue and orange be playing today?
We got home field advantage too.
Oh yeah, on the Smurf turf,
Oh.
and it is. Oh no, that's I think that's Utah State.
Really?
If I read that right.
Maybe Ohio State. That would.
Well,
not
I mean, it was a
surprising.
U, so oh yeah, it is
Ooh,
Utah. It's the Utes.
Crazy pull here,
Yeah, definitely a decision.
but it is in fact gonna get started here. 5-minute quarters. College football. Don't forget that. It looks like Utah's gonna be receiving here first too. Kicks
Yeah.
out pretty strong. And there's one there to receive, and he's actually going to run with it a little bit, has some space to work with, gets quite
Oh.
far in the middle. He's taken down and around a little bit before halfway mark here.
Well, looks like we are going to the options and
Entering
into settings
accessibility
just to
screen, you have
make
menu
sure
options.
something
Menu variation
everything
option
is
is
all
at top
good.
is
Everything
selected.
is currently at 100%, but in-game commentary, that's going to be brought down because why
Hey,
would we
that's
be
me,
here
yeah, that's my
if,
job.
if the in-game commentary was doing things? But from the looks of things, Utah going to be at a pretty good part, but we are now just waiting for everybody to restart.
Decent field position somewhat here. And they're going to look to try and get out to kind of an early start. Running up the points early always puts you in a really good position. Look at that home field advantage. It's so loud in the stadium, it's difficult to call plays. They're just going to go for the handoff. Not really anything, and he's stuffed. Only a little bit of a gain, about 5 yards there. Still kind of surprising that he was even able to get that far.
Yeah, cuddle with the rush is not a terrible strategy moving into this. Try to feel out your opponent, but now that you're at the 30-yard line, you're going to have to make something happen. You're 2nd and 5. You got a little bit more room. Looks like you're going to be using a passing
up the
play. Something's
middle.
going on.
Ooh, that
Almost
should've
an
been a pick.
interception.
Coverage was right there. I mean, he was throwing it into 4 people pretty much. That could have been dangerous. He's going to be lucky that he only got out of that one with an incomplete. He has to get some yards on this one. 3rd and 5, pass, screen pass, perfect. And he's going to get stopped, but the first down has been gained, and field position is moving up now.
No, and sometimes that's all you can ask for. A good first down to start things off, and definitely not a terrible place to be. You're at the 37 and slowly making your way forward. And, I mean, anything's better than getting an interception on the first possession.
That's a mental boom for sure.
Oh,
Still
good.
trying to establish his
Whoa.
goes way outside, but gets caught right at the end. Still a decent gain, about 4 yards for Utah here. And he's looking to maybe go again. Run game established a little bit, but he's calling over another run play. Gets kind of blocked up on his own linebacker right there. And he's going to get pulled down, only 2 yards gained. He's in another uncomfortable situation now.
Yeah, the Utes are really struggling to get a good rush going. I mean, they had a pretty good first rushing play, but Boise State has been able to thwart most of the attempts out to a passing play. Who's it going to go to?
Ooh.
Oh, Parks!
What a nice
with
pass.
the reception.
Found a nice little hole in the coverage. I didn't think he was going to be able to get that one, but times it perfectly, and that is great, but he's really taking it down to the wire, always getting these on third down. Really running this time out. It's a pass off the first, a nice catch, and even more. Another first down right away, and now we're in dangerous territory. To about the Broncos' 20-yard line. Only a few more plays needed to get this early touchdown in. It's another pass. He's looking.
Oh, interception!
Already, and he's wide open. Only one man in front of him. He jukes him out, and he's running down the sideline. Just tipped out at about the 50-yard, and that's a heartbreaker for the Utes now.
What an interception at the 30, bringing it back to the 43. Utes territory still, but Boise State has a long ways to go before they can get themselves a touchdown to start things off, putting points on the board. But you do not want to see that where you're at. Unfortunately, the rush doesn't quite go through. Ashton Genty, pretty good, but I mean, he's not the answer to everything.
Still, it's always a threat when you got him in the backfield, and seems to just be handing it off up the middle. Caught again. 3rd and 5 already.
Yes.
Can't let this be 4 and out.
Similar situation to what we saw in the last possession with the Utes, but hopefully this doesn't end in quite the heartbreak of an interception.
Looking over the middle, caught, but that's not. It's broken up by number 5 there. Gets a hand in, and now it's a 4th and 5. Is he going to go for something sneaky?
I
He's
mean,
reading
you
these plays
almost
pretty
have
far.
to.
Do you? I mean, it's such a risky play, but it could catch
him
Utah
off
guard, and this would be a good chance to get a little bit further down the field, but turning it over at half is not what you want to see this early. Audibles being called. The route's starting to formulate, but the cover's good.
Oh, he gets it!
In it. Austin Bolt catches that one, and now running down the field, that's about a gain of 20 there.
And that is just what you need moving into that. I mean,
punting not even considered.
Yeah. I mean, why consider punting? Always throw on 4th down. You can always make it. It's like gamblers' mentality. 99% of gamblers quit before they make it big. 99% of quarterbacks punt on 4th down when they could have made it.
Big
but
here.
throw to Bolt, gets the first down, and he's wide. Touchdown, Broncos.
Slips the one defender, the coverage a little bit off, and Austin Bolt's going to catch that one. He's tall. Gets that right over the top of his defender, and there's no one between him and that orange end zone. Extra point.
And with that
Of course, it's going to be good, and 7-0 in the first quarter now for Boise State to take a lead here.
It's a good way to start off your possession, going back into the kickoff. And the kick, it is going to be in the end zone, but not going to take a touchback. Ready to just move it forward. Washington is going to get it, but not quite as much as what you could have wanted at the 18, but you do have the ball. You got to make something with it. We saw what they did on the last run. Got really close, just an unfortunate pick in the end. But Bernard with the space, jukes out defenders twice, and he gets tackled on the sidelines. But a gain of 20 yards is going to be more than enough.
Off some crazy footwork there, too. Shakes 2 defenders, gets caught by the 3rd, but 20 yards is big off of just a first down run. Always interesting, because when the run game is that much of a threat, it kind of makes passes have to be considered more. A fake over the middle.
Once again.
Wide open, but he drops it. Did he drop it?
Wait. Yeah, he did. He dropped it.
Just about.
Oh, no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
He actually did get it.
He just fell. He just fell. We're going to need to have a ref look at that one a little bit closer.
Ooh, what a fake. Parks Turks has so much room to work with, but
falls just short, unfortunately.
coverage is there, but another first down gained. He's just walking up the field now. Utah's in a good position, but got to keep a handle on this. Can't have another pick like last time.
And taking a look at the time of possession, Utah has almost triple the
it's
amount.
blocked
But
up.
good block. What a block out of the Broncos, being able to keep the Utes on the back foot, bringing this to 2nd and 10, 27 yards to go.
Gonna take another look downfield. Singer catches it again, and everyone's on him, but he still manages to get about 15 yards there despite being in such stiff coverage. And these throws are really being made in such small windows. Another chance here. Only 12 left to go for the Utes to even it up on the board. Pass through, but everyone's being watched. Rising is nowhere to throw.
Oh, it's a sack!
In the backfield, 2nd and 16 now. Things are a lot different.
2nd and 16, but you do still have a first down to make use of. I mean, it's pretty far up there. But if you can get to it, we've seen worse situations before in this game alone.
Ooh.
Rush comes through, gets blocked in the middle, and a gain of 4.
A sticky situation. Have to get this one downfield, and that's going to be the end of the quarter. A second to think, a second to breathe, maybe. As Utah now almost just about in the red zone, looking to get this back, get their points back, the score evened up. Rising's going to call for this one. 2 receivers on the right side, might cut over the middle. It's going to be a look, but there's nothing really there.
Oh,
that's the man cut, but that's not enough. 4th and 1.
Ooh.
I mean, you gotta
gotta
go
run
there.
it. You gotta go for it.
Settle here. Made
Yeah.
it so far, but do you just maybe sneak? Do we do a run? There's options. All they really need is about 2 yards, and they're just gonna run it. Straight up the middle and take it.
Tying things up 7-7. Utah, or no, not yet. They haven't tied it up yet. 6-7.
They missed the kick, but down the middle.
Yeah, missing that one. Not even college football players.
Yeah,
can do
that's
that.
true.
I don't even think middle schoolers can miss that kick. I mean, it's a pretty easy kick to make. Not gonna lie. I mean, I kick like that from probably 2, 3, 4 times as long.
It's out. So it's gonna start at the 25. If you think about it, though, I mean, they got it down a lot quicker, down the field a lot quicker than Utah. So the tempo still on their side for sure.
Yeah, going into the second possession, Genty once again with the ball, brings it up, and only a gain of 2, but it's a gain nonetheless. It's still tied up, 7-7, going in around a minute into the second quarter. 2nd and 8. Madsen with the pass over to Genty, manages to get a few yards. Actually, no, lost
the 2.
2.
We're back where we started now, 3rd and 10. Have to get a little bit desperate here.
Broncos
force something through.
Broncos really struggling to get this thing past the original line of scrimmage. Madsen once again with the ball, passes over to Genty. Can he get things done?
Nice
Gets the juke.
But it's not
But
enough.
just short.
Is he gonna do it again? Is he gonna force it again, or is he gonna settle for the punt? It looks like he wants to run a play. Nice little juke,
little
but
spin to win.
Only a gain of 5 so far. Looks like he's gonna go for it. Madsen, ball in his hands, has time to think here.
Hail
also
Mary.
has time to maybe run out.
Yes.
He's wide open. Genty's the receiver. What a juke as well. Can he make it? The speed is crazy. He jukes everyone out. How many yards is that? 75 yards for Genty to bring that one home. And I almost think that Scrub is like playing with us here. He's just puts himself at 4th down and then really like kicks on the Jets here.
You know, I've heard a lot of things about about EA games being kind of samey from year to year, but I will say their accuracy to life is incredible. I mean, how many times did that happen during the actual season itself? And now we have it in College Football 25. But on to the Utes' 3rd possession, looking for another scoring drive, hopefully not ending in tragedy like the first. Going to be juking out the 16, and that's where it is going to lay down.
That's a big way back into the field. That's a long journey to get this score equal again. He's going to start out with a little bit of a pass. Nice over the middle. Breaks a couple tackles, but only 5 to be gained for him. Still, so far the passing has been on point. Completions have been there, but still trailing by 7 in the second quarter. It's going to be a run up. Not able to break through once again. 3rd down here.
But he was able to make a little bit of headway into getting a little bit closer to that 1st down. Now at 3rd and 3, there's a lot of stuff that you can do here. Sure, you can go for the rush and something good might come out of it, and that's what it looks like they're going to do. Bernard making his way past the defenders and just falling short 1 yard.
Just about not there, but I almost feel like you've got to go now. Seems like both teams don't even really consider punting to be an option. For better or for worse. And we're about to see here if they get stopped now. This is a terrible situation. Slips it though. Ref, you're in the way. And he's going to get brought down at just about midfield.
Hey, somebody get the yellow card on that ref. He is standing right in the way.
Bro, shuffle your feet.
Get moving.
Out the way.
Quick feet.
The Utes lucky. They're able to get that one, and now a chance to throw it downfield, but Rising, he just screams out, and he's got open field ahead of him. 1st down gained.
Wide open spaces.
Wide open fields. It's like Kansas right here.
Right in the
at Albertson Stadium.
The hills of Kentucky, right here on the Smurf turf. Utes going for another rushing play, slipping up again. And getting the 1st down to boot.
Cuts out the back and gets a nice little 10-yard gain. All the defenders going that way, and the little stutter step back is going to make that one ever easier for the Utes. Timeout called here. The 2-minute timeout of the quarter. 2nd quarter running down. And they've got a chance to get something going here. This is the best look they've had all day, really. An open space again, but is Simpson fast enough to catch? Not quite. The back foot not grabbed, and a big run again from the quarterback, who's really using his legs to his advantage so far on this drive here.
Yeah, Broncos really struggling to screen out that offensive line. They managed to get the offensive line out of the way, but unfortunately for them, Rising is very quick with his feet.
A pick again!
But Olipto manages to get it on the right side with the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, taking it all the way for an 82-yard pick 6.
No one's going to stop him. 82 yards all the way back. It's a sprinting drill for Shea Oladipo, and up now 7-21. Boise State takes the lead in a heartbreaker. What looked so great, the field position was there, the time was there, it was 1st down. And Butterfingers let the ball slip right into the hands of the cornerback.
Idaho has one of the largest dairy producers in the world, just a few hours away from Boise, Idaho. Maybe they had him produce a little bit of butter slipping into the gloves beforehand. You never know.
Straight through his hands.
Popcorn makes for a good butter topping, but not for a good adhesive for your gloves, unfortunately.
But they've got the ball back and a chance now. Deep right side. Again! It's another pick. No way. No one's there again. Right up the side.
Oh, no. This was looking like a close game. But a back-to-back pick 6 from Irby manages to put Boise State over 21 points ahead.
Tough scenes now, with especially how slow Utah had been getting the ball up the field. This isn't great anymore, as they're going to need a couple turnovers on their own side here if they want to get things going. Up the middle, he's going to find nothing again. Down at the 14, worst field position yet of the night for Utah.
Yeah, Utah once again lining up in a pretty standard rushing position. I mean, they've been using this play all night, and it has been working for them, but I do think they're going to have to switch up their strategy a little bit. Never mind, Bernard manages to get screened past at the 20, goes down with 4 left.
6 yards, it's just not enough, really. Down so much, 21 points now. They've got to really get things moving, especially before halftime. They were the ones receiving the ball at the start, so Boise State's going to get it after half. Singer stopped up in the backfield for a loss. Only a few more chances now to really get things going downfield here.
51 seconds left in the quarter and this half as a whole. Oh, no!
Not again!
Simpson with the
And does he have
interception.
it? Finally taken down, and surely not 3 in a row. But, I mean, it's pretty much just trivial now, so close. Boise State has a perfect chance to take another touchdown here off 3 interceptions. Now, actually, that's the 4th interception, counting the one at the start.
You know,
It's been a tough night.
at the beginning, it looked like a repeat of one of our darkest days, but nope, this is just another day for Boise State University. Madsen with the fake pass off does end up going down at the 11, but at this point, you can afford to go down a few times and not really worry about them coming back for at least a good little bit. 30 seconds left and ticking down as we are deciding on what play to make for ourselves. But can Madsen find another one before the end? And it looks like it, but no, the Butterfingers are contagious.
Just a little bit too high for Louder there. Won't be able to pull that one in, but one more chance, or actually 2 more chances here. Given the field position, Madsen rolling out to the right, looking for something, anything that he can get, but he's just going to hold on to it and get taken down. 6 yards gained, and a timeout called to stop the clock. 11 seconds now to make it a little bit, and I think a field goal is going to be settled for here.
And honestly, this is probably the best thing that you can go for. I mean, it doesn't matter one way or another. You get the ball after half one way, no matter who has it. But it's better to get that goal while it's better to get those points while you're at that part of the field one way or another. Keep yourself up.
Points, yeah, you're not necessarily too desperate in this position for anything, and kneeing it down is going to take it out to the 25, maybe realizing that he hasn't been really getting too much space on those runs so far, and it's going to need to really be a Hail Mary, try and get a little bit further up the field for maybe even a field goal. Pass goes out, and he's going to run out of bounds. That's going to stop the clock, but now you've either got to do a Hail Mary or a very, very, very far kick. Decision's tough, and looks like Utah's going to take the chance here.
Is there truly any good answer? You got 3 seconds to make a decision. Who's going to be the person who takes this all the way? Who's it going to?
He's wide open, though.
It misses.
He doesn't catch it.
Oh, unfortunate to end the half.
Route, but
ending the half at 7-31. Utes trailing by 24. They still got a shot at this. I mean, they just have to maybe not throw 4 interceptions.
They've got to get some picks of their own. I think some turnovers are going to need to go their way to really get the score back even as quick as it can.
This is like applying for a high-interest loan. I mean, sure, it sounds good in the beginning. You got all those benefits, but you need to consider some of the downsides. For instance, Crow being able to outscreen your defense, but there we go. That's how you want to apply for low-interest loans. You want to take them while they're vulnerable and just get that money while they're at it.
Nah, I get it, though. I think I understand.
Genty, once again, with the ball, isn't going to make very much progress. He's got 3 guys all over him. He's not going to get any more. You're not going to get any more from Genty going forward.
Really just, that's the counter strat. You got to keep people there. And again, this is the position that Rub has been in pretty much all day. Is 3rd and long, but seems to always make it work.
Yep, here we go.
It's going to be a route here. 3 receivers all up, and people are getting wide open. What a pick! Back the other way now. A chance for Utah, maybe. That is what they needed to start the ball.
That is
rolling, but they got it. They have to score off this.
They do. They really do. But at the 38-yard line, they have a better shot now than they have had all night, except for that first goal or that first touchdown to start off the first quarter. But Simpson manages to get the block onto Bernard. Still pretty good yardage.
Take a gain for sure.
A gain is a gain, no matter how small.
It's better than a loss. But they've got to get some bigger gains going here if they really need or want a chance to bring this one back. Has all the time in the world to throw. Finds the open man, but the coverage is still there. Down to the 11 now, have some room to work with here.
That is just what you want to see if you're the Utes. Keeping the ball moving, keeping it going up. And now I'm feeling a little bit of deja vu right now.
Have to keep on.
Oh, almost
Hard
a
hit.
fumble.
Knocks the ball out of his hands. Could have possibly been a fumble there if it was a little bit later. And now this is a difficult situation because there's so many defenders. Can't quite slip through the line. It's 3rd and 8 now. Something has to give, but nothing is giving way from the Broncos here.
They need to find a good receiver. Throw it to them. Give them something to work with. Rising has all the time in the world, but gets it. 4th and inches. You almost have to run it here.
Deciding on a play. Really thinking here, you got to get this one. Can't afford to get stuffed out for the play to get blown up before it has a chance. But there's only so little to go. Do we risk a pass here? I mean, it seems like you have to run it, but everyone's ready.
A short pass is going to get the 1st and goal.
Stop, but that is a blessed marker right there for that 1st down. If that wasn't there, a heartbreaker. But now 4 more chances, and they've just got to run it in once.
And it's going to go through.
Up to
Cameron
13
Rising.
now.
But that's about all you can ask for in this. You get yourself an interception of your own, bring yourself up to 13. You're still trailing by 21 in the end. But no. I need to do math here. 17. You're trailing by 17. But 2-point attempt. Bring that down to a 16.
Got to start now. You're going to have to get it at some point. Great catch. It's interesting. Maybe almost a mental thing. Seems like when the ball was like 3rd and 2, 4th and 2, it seems so difficult. But the 2-point, good for it. Did have to get it at some point, and now makes things a little bit more palatable.
At this point,
you're going to run this one. Decent space, but nothing crazy. Gets 1 yard further than he would have got by kneeling, so technically I guess that's a win.
Hey, I mean, it's the best we've seen, so we'll take what we can get here. Going in, 1st and 10, Madsen passing it over to Genty once again, breaking through, almost gets there, but falls on the 2, 33 yards.
Makes things difficult. 2nd and 2, so many options if you just want to get that 1st down, or if you want to feign maybe going downfield. Send the receivers over, and they have the line moving to the left, making room for Genty, but he gets stuffed out for a loss.
Loss of 1.
Now 3rd and 3, the line was ready for the play. They read it.
Read them like a opened magazine on a barbershop counter.
And I read those.
Oh yeah, I think we all read them. Yeah, I mean.
Fake pass. Oh, blown up. 81 just reads it, runs straight in and hits Madsen through the pass and incomplete. Now 4th and 3. How many times have the Broncos been in this position today?
And talk about getting hit like a truck, middle of the pass too. Just nothing you can do in that situation.
Have to get this one, or else Utah actually has a decent chance to get back into it.
Hail Mary field goal right here.
Oh, goodness.
But
all the time in the world to work with. Finally gets an open man. It's Genty, and he has space. Oh, a juke move. Gets so much more still on his feet. And that is quite a gain there. From 4th and 5 now to over half. The Broncos are kind of back in prime position to score yet again.
Yeah, sitting there at the 34 line. You're fresh on downs. Pass it over to Genty. Gets through the line. Jukes 3 people. That is 6 ankles broken.
Footwork.
The orthopedics are going to have a heck of a time tonight with all those broken ankles.
Genty is keeping people employed. Keeping doctors employed in the force, and how is he still on his feet? How does he get through there? No way, a touchdown for the Broncos, running up the score even more, just straight through the pack.
You see, Utes, that is how you use butter. You don't put it on your hands, you put it all over your body. So therefore, you just slip right on through.
It's like the carnival game where you have to catch the pig
Oh, yeah.
But instead of a pig, it's a 200-pound
Man.
running back running straight at you.
No kneel from Parks, going to be running this straight forward, and it is going to go down at the 14-yard line. Not terrible, but I'm honestly surprised the Utes haven't started kneeling a little bit more with those touchbacks, giving themselves a little bit more room to work with, but maybe there's a strategy here that we're not seeing. We're seeing a lot of good stuff come through. Rising with the pass, and Pittman open like a book.
Lots of books tonight.
Yeah, lots of reading analogies. I mean, what can I say?
That's a great pass. That's where you want to start. A couple more of those and can keep yourself in business here. Time ticking is going to be your enemy. Another same pass almost, and that's another yard and out of bounds again. Clock is stopping. The Utes playing this one very well.
Yeah, almost at the bottom of the third. 1st and 10 once again, finding ourselves in the 41st yard line. Rising with the pass. No, not the pass. Rising
again,
with the fake.
Could have been dangerous if someone's hands were there, but instead an incomplete pass. Time still stopped. It's not too much of an issue for the Utes, but they got to get something going here now. Receivers moving out. Is anyone open? Parks yet again, and he bounces off one for the first.
Ricocheted like a pinball off of the defenders there. Just, wow. Let's look at the replay here. Oh, no, never mind. We're not going to see the replay, but just
skipping that.
Just ran straight into him.
Need an angle here for the score. Receivers once again down and wide open in the midfield, but nothing really behind him. Can't get his feet planted. And only gets about 6 yards still. These are the most difficult yards to get.
Not a terrible bullet pass, but another incomplete pass. We are 3rd and 4, still got a chance. You just need to make this throw. You're still in range for a field goal, so it's not all over quite yet. But Rising,
wow,
another incomplete pass.
3 on the same set of downs. That's difficult. Now one chance to really get in here. It's gonna have to be something crazy. 5 seconds, we need a touchdown now if you're the Utes. Throw over the middle, it's picked. The desperation does not pay off. Simpson grabs that for a 5th interception of the night. Just the Broncos infiltrating undercover in
Are you
Utah.
sure we're not watching the 2025 Super Bowl right now?
The quarterback might be colorblind. He can't tell what jerseys are which, just passing. Keeps getting caught out, and now the time really only needs to be ran down. Sprub can really take his time, do whatever he wants here.
I mean, Broncos did lose 2 in that exchange. They're 2nd and 12, going for the pass, but almost a sack. And man, if
the defensive lines for both teams have really been sleeping. These poor quarterbacks have been getting blown up.
They've peeped game, and now they're locking themselves in.
Well, we got the backups in now. Gaines hands it off to Genty, who has space to work with. Back space and a fumble. Oh, hold on, did he get it back? Booth is reviewing. The refs have to check this one out under the pile of bodies. They can't tell what was what. And it looks like the Broncos did actually come up with it. Of course, we're not punting here. We're never punting here.
Yeah, I do kind of find it funny that in a video game they have to go to booth review. But it is for realism. I get that. It is kind of, I just find it kind of amusing. It does look like Crow is going to get there, and he gets it.
Just about that. It could be the dagger right there. I mean, now time can be ran so much lower. A turnover there could have been a score for Utah, but now it's back to first, and Genty is going to be the one to get it. 2 yards for him through the middle. Time is now ticking down. Comeback looking nigh impossible for the Utes, who put up a good fight, but the turnovers overall just so painful. Genty is just getting sent into the blender.
Yeah, I mean, there was quite the dagger when it came to that first down, but unfortunately, they're just getting a cloak thrown over their eyes by the Utes. And honestly, that cloak seems to be more of a terror cape than anything. They have not been able to make any forward momentum in this quarter. But with the catch, diving catch for another first down.
just walking steadily up the field like a robot.
Yeah, honestly, there's so much
no.
mischief going on. You got Genty breaking ankles.
Those
He's
strings.
at the 5 and and in the end zone once again.
That's brutal. It's just shook every defender in front of him with that spin move. He's been hitting it all day, and it's just infallible. Once again, every defender shaken off, and Genty gets his now. 44 for the Broncos, could be shortly up to 45 here now. Looks to be almost a blowout victory, is all but in the books at this point.
I mean, the Utes did manage to get 15. It's not like it was a 45-0.
And they had so many chances too. It was a close game, but so many drives.
What are you talking about was? We still got 3 minutes left to play.
That's true. Anything could happen.
Anything can happen.
They've got to tighten up and maybe get some turnovers of their own here.
Yeah, game's not over until that clock hits 0. Anything can happen in this great American sport. Looks like Parks, once again, isn't going to take the touchback. He doesn't take any charity, and he is just running forward. On the 20 for the 1st and 10.
Still not even as much as just kneeing it down, but maybe trying to get that blood pumping, the momentum in their favor here. They've got to go deep, and they've got to get some yards. 3 minutes now. Rising's going to look. Receivers aren't quite out there yet, and not again. Number 6. And it could be a pick 6, but there's defenders from the back are going to slow that one down, but now it's just getting unfortunate here.
At this point, all the Broncos
4 interceptions for Andrew Simpson. Imagine having 4 picks in one game. You're a first-round draft pick in the NFL. Simpson.
I don't know if that says more about you as a defender or your opponent,
no,
but that says a little bit about
through.
Gaines being able to get straight through the defensive line.
Another chance for even more points on the board for Boise State. Madsen looking to hand it off. Genty won't be able to find anything. Actually gets stopped up a little bit, but still, ball is at the 6 here.
Ball at the 6. There's a lot of stuff that you can do here. 2nd and goal. You got a lot of opportunities. Worst comes to worst, you just kick it in there for easy 3. But looking at this, Madsen looking around, figuring out what he wants to do. He is going to hand it off to Genty. Gets through one, but isn't able to get past the other 2.
Just pure effort right there. Actually, more receiving yards than rushing yards this game. Really just a jack of all trades. He's been used well by Sprub today. But he's got to get another one here, really, to seal it, but actually quick in. The lineman just slides right in and stops that one before it's even started, and 3 points will be settled for here.
Or?
Ooh, but they're thinking about it now.
Timeout. You know, you lose absolutely nothing by going for it.
That's true.
Oh, taking the easy
kick it
way
out. 48 now on the board. Maybe a chance for one final rally from the Utes, get some more points. Make the score line a little bit more in their favor. Finally decide to take the touchback on this one.
Yeah, so many turnovers, and they just have not wanted to take that extra 5 yards. 5 yards goes a long ways. But here we go. Rising with the ball once again, looking for someone to pass it to. Who's he going to go to? It's going to Bernard. Makes the pass, slips on through, and is down at the 55 or the 45.
The coverage was still so solid there. Even though he got the pass, there were 3 defenders on him in an instant. Maybe just realizing it's okay to give some yards. Just don't let him go all the way. We'll hold it in the red zone.
Another!
A great pass again now to the 20. And he is really up in the Jets here. Just getting downfield quite quickly, trying to call these plays as fast as possible. Rising's telling his receivers where to go. They're in the backfield. Rising has a lot of space to work with, but he's going to pass it on to Bernard. Catch and down, so close in the red zone. Only 1 yard away, down at the 1. Could sneak across here, maybe. Oh, Rising's going to hand it, and that's open field.
And that is
end zone.
Open pastures for the Utes. You know, you can really tell how much the Utes have been rising to the occasion throughout this. I mean, they've managed to pull it back. They're at 21. It's 21-48, minute and a half left. honestly, it's kind of a marvel that they've managed to rise so far.
Well, 2-point is not going to go. That would have been a nice extra 2 to tack on there, but all that really happens now is the clock to be run out. Ooh, an onside kick attempt, but it's just picked straight up by Martin. Not quite there. A decent attempt that could have tried to flip the score a little bit more, but now just seems to be a formality. As it's on.
It's
Boise State to close this one out now.
Yeah, minute 22, you might as well just run the clock while you're at it. You don't really have anything to lose here. 5 seconds left on the timer.
Oh,
Manages
Genti's
to
going
get
to run
it.
it out too.
Genty
Straights
running
through, but finally gets taken down, and that's really all Boise State need to seal this one up. Time is now ticking. Going slow and
just looking for a little bit of time off the clock. Timer going down almost at the minute mark and slowly going down. You might as well just wait it out as long as possible.
imagine how crazy this would be to do in real life. Like keep all your starters in with
Oh,
1
yeah.
minute left to like his spam runs. Genty's just putting on a show though.
Especially in college football, because a lot of your starters are going on most likely to the NFL. And
Yeah,
you
they're
would
gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
At 1 minute left.
At 1 minute left on their final game. But once again, finding ourselves in a very familiar situation. 1st and 10 on the 10-yard line.
Hand it off to
Genty once again.
4
Second.
yards found. Maybe looking to get one more touchdown in the books before this one is completely written off. 39 seconds now. A chance to get the score into the 50s with a field goal or a touchdown. Madsen probably just going to hand this one off yet again. Give it to Genty, and it's open field. Gets it in.
Number 2.
55. Wow.
You know, I will say this isn't the worst game of college football I've ever seen. That would go to the 86-point Oregon Ducks game from last year.
86 points. Jeez.
I mean, I know this has nothing to do with the Broncos or the Utes, but did you know that the Oregon mascot has a tradition for the first game of the season where basically he does the amount of push-ups every time that the Ducks score. So, like, they score 7,
Wow. Oh,
he does 7
86?
push-ups.
Goodness.
So, 86 on top of all the ones he had to do beforehand.
Maybe just looking to get some more points here now.
Maybe we should make the Broncos do something like that.
what do you mean, me make them?
It would be funny.
Oh! Number 7.
Ending it off just like it started with...
I think we got to check the cornerback's hands for magnets. Like,
or the football.
The football and the cornerbacks. They have magnets in the gloves and the ball. It's just seems to be a lock all day. Coverage so good. Genty's going to run this one out yet again.
Gets pushed back, actually, right back to square one.
At this point, just kind of a formality. Might as well try for one last touchdown, really run the score up here. Why not? Genty's going to get it running through, and that is going to be ball game. 55-21 Boise State.
Yeah, what a game. You know, in the beginning, it looked like the Utes had a really good shot at this one, but, I mean, 3 interceptions in a row, one of which being a pick, or 2 of which being a pick 6, is really hard to go up against.
I think you got to give the player of the game to the guy with 4 picks. Like, that is ridiculous. Insane, great performance. And yeah, I mean, Utah was in it for a while. It seemed like they'd get down to the red zone and they'd kind of run out of steam in their tank.
Yeah, definitely. We saw a lot of really good play out of everybody there. But, I mean, in the end, it did end up as a Boise State victory. And, well, we hope that you guys had as much fun with that as we did. But now we are going to be going back to our Marvel Rivals tournament in our losers bracket. But before we do that, we are going to go into a quick break. So stick around, because we do have some more Marvel Rivals content coming up in the form of the losers bracket and later tonight, the winners finals.
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app. I know this car got you through college, but check this out. In My Credit, your credit score looks good. And there's a great rate on this auto loan so we can score a roomier ride. Whoa, who's driving this thing? The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the end of a good day's work in Idaho. Time to punch out. Time to check in and catch up. Time to remind ourselves that what we work for isn't a paycheck. It's to make the good things we have even better. So here's to your good day's work. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe money is a thing. It's not everything.
Scott Matlock, underrated recruit, has built himself into one of the best defensive players in the Mountain West.
What would you do if you couldn't fail? Would you see every setback as a catalyst to keep going? This is the innovator's mindset, because innovation demands daring. Is finding thousands of ways that don't work, and the one that changes everything. It's when your unrelenting spirit sees the world's needs and says, I will create something better. So, what will you do? Will you let your genius run wild? Give yourself the space to be great? Set your sights on something even bigger, because we know changing the world doesn't happen by chance. It comes out of the blue. Idaho Central Credit Union, looking after your daily balance. Home is where you hang your hat, snuggle up, hide out. Home is when you're with the ones you love. It isn't just a place, it's a state of mind. At Idaho Central Credit Union, our home is Idaho. We grew up here, and we're proud to help more Idahoans with their home loan than any other financial institution. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe home is where you make it.
and welcome back from the break as we now transition from our exciting college football match back into Marvel Rivals to continue the rivalry between ICCU and BSU in this rematch. So far, we got to take a look at who was going to be going up against what teams for Boise State and ICCU, watching ICCU ATM and ICCU Bankers facing off, with ATM being the ultimate victor. However, we're going to first jump in to the losers bracket match with the Bankers versus the Loki carrying team for Boise State, and then jumping into the Dave Matthews Band versus ICCU ATM.
You know, the Dave Matthews Band, you don't hear about them very much anymore, but back in the day, they were pretty big, so that should be a really fun one to see. I mean, ATMs, they've also been around a really long time.
I know.
So it'll be the battle.
Storied history, you know, right? Of
but
like.
First, we got to go up. We got to take the Loki carries, not Loki, Loki, the god of mischief, carrying, against the Bankers, also the hard carries of the bank. I mean, the bank wouldn't be the bank without the Bankers.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you
it's in
know,
the name.
if anything, I'm excited to see their strategies continue. We were talking a lot about the bunker method, and I think I mentioned it a little bit, but I just love the ring of the bunker bankers. So if they continue that method and strategy, we'll get to see going forward if that's going to prevail against Loki carrying this time around.
Would it be the bunker bankers or the banker bunker?
Either way, I think, you know, for one, it's one of those things that actually works either way, but the banker bunkers, you know, they're bunkering down and getting ready to jump into this matchup. We now get to test the actual ICCU versus Boise State rivalry here. They've played against each other to kind of see who's going to stack up against who, but now this will be the first rivals game against ICCU Boise State, so we get to see who's going to get the first win in this matchup tonight.
Yeah, and it'll definitely be interesting. We saw the strengths and weaknesses of the Bankers, but we've yet to see the low-key carrying going through, and it does look like we are going to be on Royal Palace to start things off. So this time it is based off of Hela and
there we
her
go.
Asgardian contemporaries.
Yep, I know. When I jumped into it last time, I was staring at it, I'm like, you know, this just reminds me more of like a Destiny 2 map I've seen before, and I'm like, that doesn't look like what I was thinking of. But now we're locked in. We remember we're ready. And something I wanted to note, you know, we've seen the strategy of the Bankers, but I'll be curious to see how Loki carrying does, as they are primarily Overwatch players. And, you know, some people have said, aren't they similar games? No, they're not. And that can be a little bit of a disadvantage here, which might be part of why, you know, we had the focus taken away from them with the Dave Matthews Band being able to take the win here, as they've definitely had much more experience on the game.
Yeah, and I mean, the low-key carry, though, they do have one advantage. Overwatch and Marvel Rivals are fairly different, but a lot of the fundamental mechanics are the same. Sure, not a lot of the characters match over one for one, but a lot of them have similar kits to the Overwatch counterparts. For instance, there is a Magneto main on the low-key carrying team, and Magneto plays a lot like Sigma from Overwatch, who just so happens to be the one trick that the Magneto is also playing. So a few of the skills transfer, however, just in a few different forms.
Yeah, like we said, it's the fundamentals, because they're the same game type. You know, they're the multiplayer shooters with a lot of objective play and hero focus, right? Like, you know, in a very different way to say, like, you know, Valorant is not the same type of game, but Marvel Rivals and Overwatch more similar than that game is to any of those two. But we are going to be jumping into the Palace, and we'll get to see the picks and bans for this domination match here.
Looks like the chat forgot to be muted at the very beginning, but
it's gone. We don't see it
anymore.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. It's not there. But first ban is going through, and
we're thinking. We're
thunkering. That's what we're doing.
We got time, you know.
It does look like no ban was picked from the side of the low-key carrying.
Yeah, and we see some early potential options here. I think we're going for Spider-Man, it seems, is going to be knocked out. And we're looking for the potential pick here now.
Who will be saved from the pit of obscurity that is the ban? And it is going to be Cloak and Dagger.
I mean, considering Celestial Rose definitely has that preference, I'm not really shocked. Looks like Hawkeye is going to be the pick here for Loki carrying as we look for that final potential ban.
Yeah, who will be banned? It does look like Winter Soldier is going to get struck by the ban hammer, But who will join these four?
Oh, Luna
yeah,
Snow.
It is Luna Snow. Not a terrible ban, all things considered. I mean, a lot of really good team-ups come from that Luna Snow anchor. You have the Namor Squids, you have the Jeff Slow, that's completely taken off the table. Does look like we have a pretty standard layout for the low-key carrying team. You have 2 supports, 2 DPS, 2 tanks. Strider, once again, proving that he doesn't exactly play meta no matter what game it is, and he is on the Black Panther.
Yeah, as we're getting ready to jump into it, we also see, you know, a little bit of a mixture here, and there are going to be some active team-ups, so going to have to watch out for that as we get ready to jump into this match. Oh, I do see a last-minute swap to Jeff for the Bankers. The infamous Shark is going to be out and prowling.
The Shark
Loki carrying will want to be careful if they don't want to get swallowed.
The Shark that so many people hate with a fiery passion.
And so many love at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like Jeff has just as many lovers as he has haters.
I know. You know how, like, there's the... If there's a million Jeff fans... Well, like, if there's a million people, like, XYZ haters, I'm one of them. If there's only 10, I'm one of them. If there's 1, I'm one of them. If there's none, I'm dead. It's the same exact way for, like, people who love Jeff. Like, you can say that phrase both ways.
If Jeff has a million haters, I am one. If he has 1 hater, then it is me. If he has no haters, then I am dead. I hate that Shark.
But people would say the same thing. It's like, if a million people love him, I am one of them, and then vice versa. It's just how he is. It's really funny.
As much as I dislike Jeff as a character, I mean, I'd still buy a plushie of him if he came out.
I know. I mean, he's the Blaha Shark of, you know, Marvel Rivals. He's just another to add to the pile, right? Yeah. As we jump into the fight, though, Strider going right into it, getting taken out by Hello, though.
Just the off mention of the IKEA Shark.
The IKEA Shark.
It just took me out for no reason. Mercenary is going to go down.
I mean, that's what the Shark does. It's fine.
Lyric does end up going down to Jirasep on the Hela. That 2-tap is no joke, but luckily Leodog is able to keep up Doc on the Magneto for just a little bit longer. But, you know, here's the thing.
Ooh,
with a haymaker gets the kill.
Whoa.
2 kills.
Right,
Wait.
3 for 3? Yeah.
Can he get the 4th? He doesn't know the tag. No.
He got 3 for 3.
The Thing's unstoppable charge gives him 200 over health. If only he knew. But it does look like Doc is going to help in cleaning stuff up. Missy Beans, the only one left. And unfortunately, these beans are going to have to be refried.
Yeah, and with that, Loki carrying is able to hang on here and
actually
get...
I think that's Benz, not Beans. Why have I been reading it as Beans? That is 100% Benz.
Hey, I mean, it's like, that is the true caster curse, getting the names wrong, you know, without hearing them ever first out loud. But so far, the Broncos are holding on here. Loki carrying, able to get some progress onto the point, but ICCU Bankers moving in fast. The team backing off here. Daydream moving in to try and get some presence on the point as the rest of the team moves in as well. Captain Hook going down. Mercenary trying to hold down the fort for the team. Doc looking for some opportunities, moving back to not just get swamped as we get an ultimate out of Strider here, able to take down 2 players. But they'll have to be careful as Mercenary also trying to hold down this area, able to get ultimate off, but not before Leodog knocks them out.
I will say, though, they did take the game to an even percent. So currently 25 to 33% wise. No one has a huge advantage quite yet. Loki with the God of Mischief ultimate, and actually both Lokis. Oh, wait, no, just Leodog. I was looking at the wrong side with the Loki ultimate, but Meteor M is blocked by the Arch.
That's unfortunate. You don't want to see that happen. And as that happens, we get some trades back and forth here with the Scarlet Witch ultimate going out. You got to be careful. Able to get a double, and Doc goes down.
Yeah, Missy Benz is finally able to get one off. Took him a little bit longer than you might have anticipated, but all you need to do is get one, and that is a dead team. Missy does get a lot of damage onto Daydream, but luckily all those hours in Overwatch support is able to keep her up. Lyric, on the swap to the Star-Lord, is going to see if he can get some stuff done. The Hawkeye might not have been working so well, but out comes the invisible barrier from Daedream.
Oh, jumping in.
Both support ultimates, actually. Actually, no, it's Laser who used the ultimate.
Yeah, that was Laser. Laser trying to create some room for ICCU Bankers as they move in with 87% Loki carrying, holding on as best they can. But ICCU Bankers has gained control of the point once again. They are nowhere near the lead, but they are making some progress. Loki carrying going to need to regroup and strategize how they're going to handle the retake here, as they are going to make some significant progress with so many people on the point.
Yeah. And with almost every single ult expended, Boise State being a lot closer, they're going to have a easier time at building those ultimates. Or I should say Loki carrying, being as close as they are. Lyric, with getting whittled down on health, is able to deal quite a bit of damage, just not enough to secure themselves a kill. Just trying to pepper out these guys is not really working out. The Bankers are huddled up in their toll booths, and no one is really getting into them. And Lyric found that out the hard way with a deadly push from Laser.
Oh, however, they're going to want to watch out. Punisher going for the ultimate, able to take down Daedream with the support down. They're very careful, but Strider does not care, getting the double, running in and going for the knockout here.
And canceling the ult, too.
Yeah. Always good to see. You do not want something dangerous like that going through. Lyric able to take down some supports as well. Wow, more than one. And with that, Loki carrying in a much better position than they were. Able to take back the point just barely here. They're going to have to be careful. Overtime is active, 99%. If they don't get this, they're going to lose. Luckily, they're able to hold strong. Now being able to bring it to 99%. Down to the wire here. Strider moving forward, trying to create some pressure onto the ICCU Bankers. 98, 99, 100. Loki carrying, able to take the Royal Palace.
I'm not sure if you saw that, but Strider had his ultimate. He had his dash canceled, he had his twist canceled, and then he had his ultimate canceled. All back to back to back. That you do not want to see that as a Black Panther. Still got the hella kill, though.
Yeah, and I mean, he was able to hold strong there, really just, like I said, creating that disruption so that Loki carrying was able to create the room they needed going forward. And now, as we get into the next map, taking a look at the resources right now, kind of all over the place for both of these teams here, though I think ICCU Bankers might be a little bit higher up in general with 86, 77, 68.
Yeah, not to mention being closer to that Cloak and Dagger ultimate is going to be a lot easier for people to push in. You can push in along the line, you can circle the point, it makes things a little bit easier. But Daedream also having the Invisible Woman ult is going to help out in the long term, being able to throw that onto the point and helping out a little bit with the take, and also canceling out a lot of the damage that can be done by Celestial Rose's ult as well.
Yeah, and something to note is we did get a swap from ICCU Bankers to Magic, so there's going to be a little bit of a change here. Magic having some pretty scary combos. A lot of damage output if you're not careful here.
Supports, watch out.
Yeah, supports, watch out. She will be gunning for you as we see two members of Loki carrying going around from the side.
3!
Oh my goodness, 3 jumping in, going after the healers, but Lyric is taken down by Magic, as we were talking about. However, Hexo and Daedream are able to take down 2 players. With them down for the count, they're going to have to be careful, as ICCU Bankers were the first ones to get onto the point. And now Loki carrying needs to try and get recovery if possible here. Leia Dog hiding, taking some chip damage from the other side. They don't quite see where he is as Daedream comes around the corner and going after Jirasent here. Laser goes down to Lyric. However, they got to be careful. Mercenary is just huddled on this point, holding strong as Doc moves in to try and create some room for the team. With Mercenary out, the tank is gone. And Loki carrying is able to gain some room to start racking up those percentages here.
Yeah, but forcing out the invisible barrier from Daedream is going to help out a ton. I mean, you do have Leia Dog with the God of Mischief able to duplicate an ultimate if needed. But not having that ultimate just to panic use is going to be a little bit harder on the Broncos. Lyric getting a little bit of chip damage from the side on Star-Lord. Just looking for a good way to engage. Sees the rocket revive. Is he going to break it? Oh! Strider goes down. Unfortunately, Bast does not tremble before anybody right now. The Thing has to move on back. Hex trying to find his way back to the team. Doc playing defense as the Magneto does. And Hex just in the backline throwing haymakers.
Yeah, just creating that chaos. However, we do see a jump out from Magic here. They're going to have to be careful as Leodog copying that ability to go through and create some chaos here.
Yeah, the Dark Child copy is definitely something that you want to watch out for. It's scary on its own, but when you don't know what's coming.
So much. For a second, I was like, why do I see red on Magic? And then I'm like, wait, there's a Loki playing right now. Celestial Rose goes down to Lyric. Mercenary as well. Tank and support's getting taken out left and right here as Loki carrying, creating a steady lead for themselves here, about 50% more.
Yeah, but
Dangerous
take a look at that upper
Oh my
corner.
goodness, the ultimates. You're right.
This
with
will be
two supports, the tanks, and all of that, with really Squirrel Girl being the only one who doesn't have their ult.
Oh,
never
the
mind.
moon is haunting, and it haunted Leodog just a little bit too hard on the point.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that does mean Captain Hook is on the point, able to take it away. Yeah.
And there is no supports to help the rest of the team. Daydream had to peel back to take out the captain.
I wanted to make sure they couldn't make too much progress here, and he is going to run away, allowing for that retake, but not, well, potentially here, but he comes back with backup. Daydream goes down. Loki carrying completely off the area, not able to really recover this, as they are going to start to make some progress here. Though at 92%, the Bankers will want to be careful. If they let Loki carrying gain the points again, it could be over.
Man, I didn't know that Moon Knight was the engineer from Team Fortress 2, because he just set up a teleporter and just made things happen. But Strider taking out Captain Hook early on. Out comes Galactic Legend. Lyric finding two, goes down to Girosept, but Girosept ends up falling to the Psionic Field. And out comes Strider right back to the point where it all started, taking out Mercenary, or getting close anyway. Yep, there he goes down. And that is going to be round one, going to Loki carrying.
Yeah, overtime running down here as the 99% is secured. Loki carrying, taking that first round. Ultimate getting activated right at the end there.
Meow, kitty cat.
What?
Meow, meow, kitty cat.
Meow Meow Kitty Cat.
Meow, meow, kitty cat.
Cat GTP. Wait, Chat GPT. I always mix up the letters. Don't know why.
No, it's
I was
cat.
like, Cat. Yeah, you're right.
Cat.
If only they were here to see the MVP. It looks like for Black Panther there. You know, you're talking about the off picks, but it seemed to be working out for Strider in that moment as they get ready to go into the next matchup here.
Black Panther works really well into characters that don't really expect him coming or don't have the facilities. Like Mercenary.
I mean, if you can get good combos off with the dash and the spear, you're done for.
I mean, he is known as the Tickle Monster for a good reason, though. I mean, he does a lot of single target
You're so right.
He does a lot of single target damage. However, spreading that out, especially when he's getting healed, when the opponents are getting healed, it makes it really hard to burst down an opponent, which is where he really shines as a character. Spider-Man can take a little bit longer because he does more damage per attack, but with Black Panther relying so much on his abilities to deal that damage to get those kills, he really needs to find a target and fast. And we were seeing that a lot with Loki carrying. I don't really think it was Loki carrying that one. I think they should change their name.
Perhaps, yeah. I will say I am a big fan of Black Panther. I really like playing him because he also just, his movement feels good.
Feels
Like,
smooth.
it does feel smooth. Like when you get a dash and a spin off and then knock someone out. I've had a lot of unintentional like 3 knockouts at a time because I just didn't realize how well it was going to combo into people. So I've had the Squirrel Girl experience with Black Panther, but just the way the movement feels, and also something I just like about Marvel Rivals is the climbing mechanics. The way it feels on a lot of those characters, just extra momentum and mobility, and Black Panther having the, like, you know, the double jump and just a lot of that makes him feel good. Also, getting a good spear off is very satisfying.
Yeah, it's not like Overwatch where only people from Japan can wall climb. Except for Hazard for some reason. I guess the Scots can too.
I was about to say, I guess he's a turtle, but turtles don't climb.
Yeah. Wait, Midtown? I didn't know we were playing Overwatch.
Jumping into Midtown for the second match. Boise State with their first secured win. ICCU will have to figure out how they can handle this next matchup. Never mind.
Oh, no, Central Park.
Sorry, you got too excited, and now
Dang.
they swapped to Central Park.
I thought we were going to watch some Overwatch here really quick.
No,
I think that would be too easy for Loki carrying, so...
I know. They were like, they got all excited for a moment and then got denied. But no, we're going to Central Park.
Well, Central Park?
Central.
This isn't Friends.
Did I say perk?
Yeah, he said
Oh.
Perk is Central Perk, the coffee shop from Friends. I have never watched a single episode of Friends. I just know that that's what it's called.
All I know is that one of my professors was used as a reference for later seasons for one of the main characters. Like one of the writers just decided, yeah, I'm basing it off of this guy. Which, you know, if that's anything, that's something to say about like my professor.
Shocker, Black Panther was banned.
I know, you'd never guess who is going to get banned this time around, though it looks like Leodog was debating the pick this time, going to get denied, though Cloak and Dagger is going to be locked in. Iron Man is removed, and Thing will be secured. And I mean, considering how effectively he was knocking people out in the first matchup, I can understand why they'd want to keep him around. Though it looks like
It's going to be Wolverine taken out.
we'll have to see where the
Oh,
lineup's
no.
going to be here. Oh, as Wolverine is
Invisible
out.
Woman.
An Invisible
also
Woman.
out.
Rip
Unfortunate.
Daydream. Daydream was primarily playing Invisible Woman for most of this, so it looks like Adam Warlock will be the backup.
But
with
who will
Leodog
Strider
going
play?
to back to Loki. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Oh,
I should have guessed Venom.
Oh, three?
Venom is the closest thing to Wrecking Ball that we have in this game, and
That's, oh my goodness.
it's
wait.
actually not a terrible pick with this composition because
Yeah.
you're not playing Venom as a tank. You're playing him more as a DPS. You just run
Yeah,
in.
he is more of an
and
off tank than
absorb.
much else. Like, he's not really going to be blocked. Like, he blocks well, but he's really good at jumping in there and causing mayhem. So, makes sense, yeah.
He doesn't have a lot of team tanking abilities. Sure,
Yeah, he doesn't really do that.
He draws a ton of attention to himself, but in the end, I think the Thing does it a little better. Just because he has a better health pool, he can regen a little bit of that overhealth. And I mean, Venom does have the highest potential health pool in the game at almost 1,500 with his symbiotic shield. However, you have to get down to less than 100 health before you can use that ability, and then it's on a 15-second cooldown. So
yeah,
you
so
really
you don't get it all the time, and you have to be really careful.
Yeah,
You want to be smart about it.
It is going to be a little bit difficult to dive into this composition, though, playing in the Banker Death Ball.
Yeah, I mean, similar to what we were talking about before, this is... The Bankers have been here before with the defense.
Oh,
and,
no.
we talked
Moon
about
Knight
this.
doesn't
Oh! Yo, what? I feel like the Thing might be more of an assassin here. What happened? He just snuck in.
Well, I mean, he is the bruiser from the Bronx. All you got to do is get behind somebody and
yeah.
insist on a little bit of a punch-in. Just
Yeah,
throw
punch
those
out here.
haymakers as much as you can. Mercenary feeling the full brunt, but Spider Mines are going to spell doom for Hex Overwatch.
Mercenary taken out by Doc, however. Doc actually swapping off of... Notably, we swapped off to the Hawkeye play here, give a little bit more variety to the team as we see Celestial Rose go down to Daydream. Support's knocked out by another support here. Trying to look for some room. Yeah, a little bit
You can
uncomfortable.
tell that he is very hardwired to Hanzo with the wall climbing attempt.
Yeah,
but
wanting to try and get up there. No, he's got the leap instead. And see, moving forward here, they are able to get the attack forward. They gotta get the bot to... to his friends here. Do you know the lore behind this particular escort mission?
yeah, Herbie escaped the tower because he likes Friday, so
Yeah,
he's
he
like, I'm
wants to
going
go-
to go help.
Yeah, he's got a crush.
Herbie
you
is
know?
precious.
He's got
He must be
he
protected.
wants to go find his friend, help out. He's got to impress it. Got to impress the other robot's companion, and so begrudgingly here we
ChatGPT
are.
Years from now, it's gonna be trying to impress Orca AI or something.
While the vampires are all out lurking around.
I mean, I don't know. It is a possibility. I mean, we brought
We never
direwolves back. Vampires aren't out of the possibility.
You make that sound like vampires were a thing previously. I suppose we don't know.
You're telling me that not all Europeans were vampires at one point?
No comment. And so anyway, jumping back into the match, we have hit the first checkpoint, but ICC Bankers have been able to use this hallway to hold down. Daydream activating the ultimate here, trying to create some extra room to work with for the team, but better watch out. Mercenary is on the hunt. Daydream having to back off completely as they're trying to find some room to work with. Leodog pretty low on health, but standing his ground here.
Yeah,
Now
Hex
moving
getting
up.
2.
Yeah, Hex getting 2 here. Oh, group going down, creating some more room once again, although they are contesting. Loki carrying, able to once again grab the point and move it forward.
Well, you see-
Strider also sneaking around here as Venom.
You see, here's the thing. It's a little slower that time, production. We gotta...
Well, you know, I did interrupt you on accident as we continue forward, though. Oh, Doc taken down by Captain Hook here.
During his ultimate, too. That's going to be a little bit of a setback going forward.
That's rough.
I mean, Honkai's ultimate isn't a make or break, but it is still incredibly useful.
I mean, if you can get set up, it's pretty scary. All things considered, and I suppose if you also have a Black Widow on the team, it can be even worse because, you know, it gets the extra attributes added to it.
So that's actually a separate ability for Black Widow, but Captain Hook is going
I was going to say,
all
I
the
know
way
you can
through.
just add the extra level of danger, giving some of those scary benefits, but yeah.
Leia Dog quick to reciprocate the feelings. Not finding anything quite yet, but it is enough to push them back.
I mean, it's still threat. Yeah, you're creating threat here.
Yeah.
Although Groot takes down Leia Dog, it does give some room to work with. They're going to have to be careful getting immobilized here.
No.
Falling down. Looking for an opportunity, tries to go for the Devour, does have a lot of health to work with, but it's slowly getting chipped down here, having to back off and go back up into the air. Now looking for their next opportunity, going to jump in once again. Boise State trying to find their room to work with. They need to be pushed away, but they just don't see it yet. But that's okay, they move forward. Venom creating some space once again, getting some heals. And they do have the revival from Adam Warlock here.
Unfortunately, though, because Adam Warlock was taken out super early, it also took out the Karmic Revival, meaning only one person gets to benefit from being brought back, and that's Lyric, who unfortunately fell earlier on in the team fight. Mercenary holding their ground in the center of the point, but unfortunately it is the Thing's favorite time, and the Cloak and Dagger ult is coming out to save them from the Thing's favorite time. Doc does go down to Groot. Giuseppe being able to deal a ton of damage from a very long ways away. Unfortunately for him, trees can't read clocks. So
Strider activating ultimate as well, taking down Celestial Rose. Lyric, and 3 go down. Mercenary trying to create some room and stall as the revives go out with the ultimate. Now the only member of the team left in the area. That ultimate is giving them some room to work with, but not a lot. They just got to keep moving if they want to try and slow Loki carrying, but it's to no avail. Strider taking them out. Now able to move forward, though the Thing was taken down by Celestial Rose, who swap into the Luna Snow here.
what a freeze frame.
I love the way that like characters will ragdoll to the ground. It can be so good sometimes. Venom swinging in here. Back into the fray.
Ragdolls and proximity voice chat, the two things you need to make your game amazing.
Exactly. Oh no. Oh no.
So much damage. Strider is going to go down. But Leia Dog on the Winter Soldier. A Karmic Revival is going to revive 3. Boise State, or Loki carrying right back up to full health. I'm so used to seeing these people on the Boise State Overwatch team, I cannot hardwire my brain against it.
So true. As, let's see, checking in, we do see the Luna Snow ult going through, trying to get that stall for the rest of the team here. So, it has gone out. Now they're just slowly but surely getting that done. Though,
so many ultimates used.
I know. It's the back. I mean, this is definitely a pretty crucial moment for both teams. If Loki carrying is able to get past this area, they've got a pretty clear shot forward, and they've been able to move so far that it's going to be a rough pull back for the ICCU Bakers, which they just want to try and hold this back as much as possible. Leia Dog here using those clones to full advantage, trying their best to create that extra room for the team with the supports here.
Yeah, out come the clones, trying to deal a little bit of chip damage on the side, break that Punisher turret, make sure nothing can attack Loki carrying, but they are just getting peppered over and over again. But this is giving a lot of fuel to both of the supports. They're just farming their ultimates right now, but unfortunately Daydream is going to be the first to go down. Captain Hook does fall to Hex, but it is just Leia Dog to heal and capture the point, and unfortunately a very pesky Spider has been pounding them.
I know, yeah, with that, be careful. Ultimate is back, and we hear it's Spider time once again, using the classic strategy here, dropping the mines and the webs everywhere around the point here, and really just creating a huge nuisance.
How can it be Spider time and Clobbering time at the same time? Unless we're running on military time, then I guess it would make a little bit more sense, but...
I mean, it seems to be working out for both of them, unfortunately. Ooh, Doc taken down. goes Lyric as well. Strider, the last man standing in the distance here. He's in a pretty rough spot, needing to be careful.
Only
Trying to
10
gain
seconds
some
left on the
heals.
clock,
Yeah,
too.
they are in a very comfortable position, however. They might not be able to get it all where they want unless they can get the overtime. Leia Dog teleporting it in with Hex here, trying to create some room, maybe to get through that overtime. We'll have to see, though. They're in a pretty rough position. Going to get caught off guard. Oh,
Leia
going
Dog
for the Cloak and Dagger ult. Oh, creating some extra room for the team. Leia Dog able to actually a really good ultimate to copy here from Loki.
And one of the better ultimates in the game to copy. Unfortunately, Karmic Revival is gone, so who's here is here. Doc back on the signature Magneto, looking to get something done. Captain Hook does have his ultimate ready to use, but Strider is going to be very quick to reciprocate. Doc already almost has Meteor M, and that is going to be a bruiser when it hits the field. Captain Hook almost gone, manages to use his ult in time, but is left on one, and that is going to be enough. The moon haunts the point, but it doesn't haunt hard enough. Doc manages to get Missy bends before they can get back, but Jiraiya Sept is not able to come back in time. Laser also falling to the Strider, not Wrecking Ball, but Venom this time. The hamster is going to be a little bit jealous when he comes back to Overwatch next time. Clones coming out, Spider time is upon us.
Ooh, this could be problematic as we see ICU Bakers making one of their last plays here to gain control and try and shut down this overtime. There is so little space left on the progress bar as we watch Boise State. Loki carrying, move forward. Leia Dog have to be careful. Able to get another ultimate off and go for the potential Cloak and Dagger ultimate once again. Really holding strong here as they're able to get right there and actually pull it off with a sliver of overtime left.
From almost no meters on point two to the very end, you could not ask for a better push to end things off. And that is going to be a ton of pressure on the Bankers side to get themselves a nice loan at a good API. They do not want to miss this sale, but from the looks of things, the customer is ready to walk straight on out the door.
Wow, just what do you do there, you know? Like, you hold the line for so long, and on a sliver of overtime, Loki Carrying is able to pull it through. This is a big ask from the ICCU Bankers, and, you know, we're probably going to see a switch up of the strategy from both teams, checking those bans. Once again, they're still hard stuck on the Black Panther here. They do not want that to go through. So we take a look at these matchups here. We can see Loki Carrying pretty comfortably locking in the team with the 3 tanks and 2 supports once again. Well, no, 3 tanks, 2 supports, 1 DPS. And then we check out the ICCU Bankers here with Mr. Fantastic and Thor hitting the field to change up their tank line. Oh, and Jiracept going to Hulk as well.
I mean, it's basically 1 tank and 3 DPS.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you play the thing like you are a bot, like you're basically Rocky Balboa. You just run up there and 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they're dead.
Yeah, I mean, they're off tanks. So you've got your off tanks and not your primary guys you want to see up in the line gathering just pure damage. But now jumping into it here, we can see they are going to start moving Herbie forward. Hex waiting around the corner, sees some players, tries to look for a potential opportunity, but the Hulk is going to move in. Looks like we might see the big bruiser battle between these two here. Jumping into the fray, going for the punches back and forth here. Mr. Fantastic joining in as well. His abilities are so goofy for tank, and I love it so much seeing him jump up here, having to go against his teammate. Thing joining the other side, as we can see. Strider taking the top approach here.
Jiracept actually got the kill onto Captain Hook. Or, wait, no, onto, I believe that was Lyric.
I saw Doc as well.
Yeah, Doc unfortunately fell as well, but, I mean, they're holding it so well here. They can hold on to this for just a little bit longer. Jiracept manages to get back into Hulk form, but this is proving why the Thing is always winning in that encounter. Just always getting through.
Yep, there
gets
goes
plowed
Banner.
through with drive and a left hook straight into the Captain.
That is a rough spot. Thor trying to move in, but without a lot of support, he's going to have to be careful here. His temp HP is not a lot to work with right now. as he gets jumped into the air, gets stuck between a rock and a hard place, is going to be taken out by Lyric, as now Mr. Fantastic and the Thing face off, backing off for a little bit of room to work with. Cloak and Dagger activating their ult for ICCU Bankers, trying to create some room. They push forward back onto the objective as Loki Carrying tries to move around the back, having to go up against Thor here, running into the middle. Chaos back and forth.
Oh, clobbering time.
Yep.
Barely misses Jurasept. That was incredibly close. However, the fist does not miss.
Yeah, Daydream trying to go for the ultimate, going to go for the Karmic Revive here, giving their team some room to work with. They are able to bring back 2 and get a KO. Daydream here holding down the line by the objective, letting the rest of the team push up, creating that space. Going to have to move away though before the moon. Khonshu is not happy today. As 2 players go down for Loki Carrying.
I mean, when is Khonshu happy, though? I mean, if Moon Knight's to be believed, the dude is really hard to please. Just like the God of Thunder, apparently, Leodog being taken as tribute.
Now with Loki Carrying having to back off, the Broncos needing to move away for a second. Strider climbing up the wall, trying to avoid anything too crazy. Daydream better watch out. Thor is running up, but he isn't going to move up too quickly, trying not to get isolated from his team. As the rest of Boise State moves up to back up the team. ICCU Bankers looking for their move here.
Strider brought down really low in that last encounter. Luckily, able to get right back up due to the regenerative field from Leodog. Out comes Meteor M, looking for a kill, and it finds 2. Rarely do you see it even find 1. Looks like the Moon Knight ult tries to, or the Moon Knight grapple puts him in a very bad spot as well. And now it is just 2 left on this point. Can they find anything here with the Runic Awakening from Thor? No, they can't. And now it is just them backing out. Hex positioned in a spot to jump whatever poor New Yorker is there, but Cloak and Dagger almost capturing the point from underneath their nose.
Ooh, they almost did it, but not right there. Still gonna have to fight for it a little bit. The Bankers are not able to quite hold on to it just yet. There is a contest going through 1-to-1. Loki Carrying will want to be careful. However, Leodog copying Cloak and Dagger, able to create just, again, some more painful damage and support for the team as Doc going up against Mercenary here. They go down. Captain Hook and Laser as well. Loki Carrying able to hold on with that overtime ticking down. They are able to hold the ult.
Oh, no way! Hella managed to make it back. Jurasept almost contested the point, but used the ult and flew above it.
No! Oh. So close, but so far away. Boise State able to take another victory here. The MVP being Hex this time around.
Yeah, honestly, well-deserved. Just a lot of damage coming through at all points in time.
Yeah, some really crucial knockouts and really good disruption.
Honestly, it felt like every time you took your eyes off of the Bankers, it was just the Thing ready to crack some heads Boston style.
Oh yeah, and I mean that's like one of the best things about like the Thing is just the gameplay and how he feels, and so we were able to see a full spectrum of this character and how he works. And I'm glad we got to see some Mr. Fantastic as well. He's a very interesting character, and seeing the matchups go through. But yeah, the Broncos are able to take the win. Loki Carrying holding strong here.
Yeah, and honestly, we couldn't have really asked for a better lower finals game, but we do still have one more game left to go tonight, and that is our winners finals. But we are going to go to a short break beforehand, so make sure you stick around for the final event, which is bound to be quite the barn burner best of 5.
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app. I know this car got you through college, but check this out. In my credit, your credit score looks good. And there's a great rate on this auto loan so we can score a roomier ride. Whoa, who's driving this thing? The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the end of a good day's work in Idaho. Time to punch out. Time to check in and catch up. Time to remind ourselves that what we work for isn't a paycheck. It's to make the good things we have even better. So here's to your good day's work. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe money is a thing. It's not everything. Idaho Central Credit Union, looking after your daily balance. Home is where you hang your hat, snuggle up, hide out. Home is when you're with the ones you love. It isn't just a place, it's a state of mind. At Idaho Central Credit Union, our home is Idaho. We grew up here, and we're proud to help more Idahoans with their home loan than any other financial institution. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe home is where you make it.
Scott Matlock, underrated recruit, has built himself into one of the best defensive players in the Mountain West.
What would you do if you couldn't fail? Would you see every setback as a catalyst to keep going? This is the innovator's mindset, because innovation demands daring. It's finding thousands of ways that don't work, and the one that changes everything. It's when your unrelenting spirit sees the world's needs and says, I will create something better. So, what will you do? Will you let your genius run wild? Give yourself the space to be great? Set your sights on something even bigger, because we know changing the world doesn't happen by chance. It comes out of the blue.
Hello and welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena as we continue our cover of the ICCU versus Boise State Esports rematch. We just watched two of our teams go up against each other in the losers bracket. ICCU Bankers and Boise State Loki Carrying, with Loki Carrying ultimately taking the win in a 2-0 best of 3. But now we go up against each other one more time in the winners finals with ICCU ATM and BSU Dave Matthews Band to face off to see who's going to be able to take this final total win overall.
The battle of Old Reliable. You got Dave Matthews Band, the band that never really seems to go away, and then, of course, you got ATMs. They're always going to be around. You got to get money somewhere, and I mean, who wants to go all the way to a bank when the ATM is right there?
Exactly, and so we're going to see who's going to be, I guess, the more all-reliable by the end of this matchup and really seal the deal for this rematch between the two, you know, the friendly rivalry that we have going right now.
Yeah, I mean, we did see Loki Carrying edge out the Bankers in the last one. We are going to burn Inchala for the first map, and there's a lot of things that you can see from this map. There's a lot of odd things that happen with it. There's a lot of map changes. There's some spells that get cast if enough of the environment is destroyed. There's a lot of ways to play it, and it'll be interesting to see how everything goes. I have word on the street that the Dave Matthews Band is a little fond of their Spider-Man, but you know what else they should be fond of? Doc's keys to the game. In Marvel Rivals, pummel your opponent. Yes, the multiverse is real. Assemble your squad. Know the map like how Spider-Man knows Queens. There we go with the Spider-Man again. And then the ults are like Infinity Stones. There's 6 of them, and they can all kill your entire team.
Exactly, and the keys to the game are brought to you by ICCU. And just to take a second to thank ICCU for their continued support of Boise State Esports. Thanks to them, Boise State Esports has won multiple national championships and piled up more than 1,500 wins. ICCU, looking after your daily balance. Visit ICCU.com. Now, we are going to be jumping into this best of 5. As you mentioned, we are going to be going to the Wakanda map. And like you said, there's a lot of variety, and there's also a lot of shenanigans to be had on this map, with one of the objectives being right near the ledge, and so many characters really enjoying shenanigans of that variety. It will be interesting to see how much that goes through. And, you know, seeing a Wolverine potentially up top, I have seen plenty of Wolverines take people over the edge, trying to create an advantage, either with an ult going off and trying to stop it, or just trying to create some room by getting rid of a support or a tank. So it'll be interesting to see as we look at these picks and bans here. Looks like Hawkeye and Bucky are the bans, with Thor and Magneto being the picks.
Being completely safe from the ban hammer. It'll be interesting to see who ends up getting struck down. I mean, we got one chair on the Black Widow. Pretty good character, not gonna lie. I mean, Black Widow can one-tap people. It's completely broken. I mean, like, you should be able to ban them, but I guess not. They're going to ban Doctor Strange.
I mean, they banned Hawkeye, and, you know, we've seen how much trouble Hawkeye can give, too, as well.
That is true.
So, you know, they picked one, and unfortunately, it doesn't. Well, it looks like the thought might be removed, as it might be. Oh, there's a Spider-Man. Actually, potentially. Oh, no, they're really thinking right now. Chair is not sure where to go, but it looks like the Dave Matthews Band have it locked in. Magic with Thor, Hela, Mr. Fantastic, Cloak and Dagger, and Mantis. And looking up top, we've got, Magic and Cloak and Dagger are mirror matching right now, with some variety in the other places here.
Yeah, Dr. Chungus and Soul are really looking for Magic one-on-one, and it'll be interesting to see how that goes down. I mean, Magic isn't exactly the easiest person to play. You do get overhealth when you deal damage to someone's base health, so stuff like overhealth doesn't count. But if you just dealt damage, you get some health back, and you kind of need to work with that sparingly, because it's really hard to keep yourself up if you're in the wrong position at the wrong time. But a good Magic can make enemies disappear like magic.
Exactly. I mean, there's some like very scary combos, but it looks like the Magic is going to be removed from ICCU ATM, going on to Iron Man instead. Not wanting to go for that. Going for more of an aerial approach here as the mission area unlocks in about 20 seconds. Both teams moving in here. to see how they want to handle this approach.
We also went right back to Magic, so we do end up with the
decisions. Yeah, I guess we're going to see the mirror match. Who's going to be taking out more people as Gaming Beaver jumping straight onto the point here. Mr. Fantastic following through. I want my $2, trying to get some good grabs off, take an early knockout onto Soul the Moon here. It's not going to fully go through. Dr. Schmungus taking down Dap Blondie and removing them from the field, as well as Disco Pangolin.
Now out goes the Magic trying to get away. Dap Blondie's clones are not going to be safe for very long, and that Gaioki is going to fall to Dr. Schmungus here fairly fast. One chair on the Spider-Man, looking to get back onto the point, starts the capture, but Mantis is enough to scare him off for now. Dr. Schmungus looking to be a tank, but Magic is not a tank. It seems a little odd that someone with a sword that big can't be a tank, but you know, game design and all that. Gaming Beaver with the Oracle Awakening gets the Magic thrown back straight into Dr. Schmungus, but Saul is going to end up staying alive. Does look like Disco Pangolin is going to hold on to the point for just a little bit, but is not able to close out Royals. Got him really close though.
Rhodes taking down Disco Pangolin again. Seems to kind of be an enemy here of Mantis. Mantis popping off, taking down 2. Dap Blondie and Soul the Moon down as well. Giving Dave Matthews Band a little bit of a break here as they get ready for the next brawl out. And going over the 50% marker on the objective.
Yeah, Thor does have a lot to work with here. Gaming Beaver not only has his ultimate, but he also has all of his utility at his disposal. Runic Awakening is going to go through, dealing a lot of damage, forcing some abilities, and out comes the Brainiac Bounce out of Mr. Fantastic. Not really doing a ton, but is able to break him a lot, and there's the first kill of it. Dat Blondie is going to go down, and it's going to deal enough damage to put in work on the rest of them.
Ooh, and moving forward too, working together with their team, they are really just able to halt any opportunities getting near the point here. Dave Matthews Band, you know, just in 2-step right now, 2 steps ahead of everything that they have been pulling off.
Yeah, there's a lot of steps to take, though. We are only 1 down, and with the point ticking in the other direction, they're going to be forced off. Venom forced to use his ult and is able to stay up because of it, and it is enough for the rest of the team to get there. Ultimates popping out left, right, and center. Cloak and Dagger out, and Bobby using the Meteor M, trying to cancel an ult, and it does. Cloak and Dagger is gone. Darkchild comes out as well. Dr. Schmungus goes down early. Gaming Beaver manages to find Invisible Woman and Soul the Moon during the ultimate one chair falling on the Invisible Woman. It is just I want my $2 on the point along with Thor. That one Gaioki and Dat Blondie are trying to hold on, but it goes to Dave Matthews Band. In the end, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, and with that, they take the first objective, and we will now be moving on to Imperial Institute of Science.
The East.
My brain didn't process that, but that's fine.
The IIS, it's the East.
You know, with the acronym of ICCU, ATM on screen, you think I would have picked up on another one, but not today.
ICCU, ATM, DMB, East. There's a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, though I think ATM will want to be careful here. Dave Matthews Band does have 2 ultimates to work with, one of them being Magic and one of them being Mantis. That's actually a pretty, having a DPS and a support ult is a nice spot to be going into for this next objective here.
Yeah, good opener and then a better survival one. So, I mean, you used 3 in the last fight, your opponent used 4. Actually, no, 5. I think Disco Pangolin also used his ult as well.
It looks like it with how,
Penny Parker. Looks like Dr. Schmungus is going to be circling around, on the hunt, if you will.
Yeah, but you know who is going straight forward? It's going to be Thor taking the point for the team here, bringing them forward, but we are going to see Penny Parker here creating those spider webs, creating some room, but the ultimate goes out from Dr. Schmungus, that opener going through, taking it down. Bobby here with the rest of the team following forward, they're able to knock out everyone, it looks like.
Yeah, I Want My $2 also ended up ulting there as well as soon as his ult came online.
Yeah, giving them a lot of room to work with and still having that backup panic button in Mantis here. They can move forward fairly comfortably with the point secured and really try and lock down these two main hallways here. Stall the approach as much as possible. Bobby trying to move around the corner. However, there is someone up top. He'll need to be careful as Magic drops down, but is taken down by Gaming Beaver here. They're starting to move around this corner. Here's some ultimates coming online with Thor going for the opener moving forward, but he's taken down by Bobby, moving a little bit too far away from his team to really be helped. Come around the corner here. Oh. I hear the Mantis ult. It goes through, giving them a little bit more staying power. Though we do have Cloak and Dagger and Luna ulting at the same time, allowing ICCU ATM to push forward and get back onto that point, hold it down. They do not want Dave Matthews Band to get much farther than the 56% they currently have here.
I mean, it's not a terrible idea. I'm just a little surprised there wasn't a damage boost from the Luna Snow to sort of even things out. But Dr. Schmungus taking a ton of advantage of all that damage Royals is putting on, taking out 3. And it is just Disco Pangolin with his ult, and unfortunately it is not going to be enough in the end. We are quickly approaching Final Fight territory, and it looks like we are right back where we started with Dr. Schmungus and I Want My $2 almost having ult.
With those ults. I love when Mr. Fantastic walks around like that. It's so good. He is going to get ready. Back in the corner with Thor. 2 tanks holding the line here. The wall breaks, creating some more space. That's not great for Dave Matthews, but he's going to jump in anyway, activating the bounce to try and push back Magneto here. Dr. Schmungus is taking down some people, and 2 knockouts for Mr. Fantastic as they manage to capture the second objective. And with that, Dave Matthews Band takes the first point.
Yeah, good momentum starter, especially in a best-of-5 scenario. You got to win 3 to take it all home, and you are 33% of the way there. And it looks like I Want My $2 is going to be the MVP.
I mean, he did a lot of work holding the line for the team, and he did get a very satisfying 2 knockouts with the ultimate at the end there.
You could say that his performance was fantastic.
Fantastic, yeah.
You could say that 4 of their members' gameplay was fantastic.
As we get booed in the distance, I think. What? I mean, the puns are just going to keep going. That's like, hey, isn't that like a very Marvel thing now with the movies? You know, very
It's like Devil May Cry without Dante busting a move.
Yeah, now we get to go into the next matchup. This is not going to be the scary deal breaker that we've seen in previous ones, however, as it is a best-of-5. So if Boise State, Dave Matthews Band, wants to take it all, they need to win 2 more. So it's a great opportunity for ICCU ATM to shut them down.
Yeah, and especially with their strategy, going back to that bunker strategy we were talking about earlier, it felt like every time they tried to set it up, it would just get punched out by the Mr. Fantastic. They couldn't really get anything started. They couldn't get the ball rolling.
Yeah,
so
the damage potential, and I think on both sides, were very different, and that definitely contributed to Dave Matthews Band being able to kind of smash through the Penny Parker setup that they had, which is very good for stalling the objective. Like, if you don't want your opponents to be able to just easily run around and control everything, you pop that and you hold the line, but it just was knocked through every single time.
Yeah, not to mention a few questionable ults out of the ATMs as well. I mean, Penny Parker's ultimate is really good with the staying power. You can use it when a few of your teammates are dead, but not when you are the last person on the point.
Unless you're, like, at overtime, right? Like, when you're at overtime, you got to use what you got to use.
Yeah,
but if you're not at that point, it can be hard to pull off. But they are going into a new matchup. This is their first time going against each other. This is also our first time seeing Dave Matthews Band. Like, we've seen what ICCU ATM can pull off, and they definitely have some really strong moves they can pull out. So it'll be a big thing about just seeing how, now that they've kind of interacted with each other, warmed up, and seen the strategies, how they choose to handle it going forward.
And it looks like our next map for Hybrid is going to be Symbiotic Surface on Clintar, Venom's home planet, and maybe it might give him a little bit of home field advantage. You never know.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not a really big fan of Clintar.
No, he does not like it at all.
I don't think any symbiote likes Clintar at this point, considering what is hiding underneath. Well, within.
Who is hiding?
Who?
Ooh, knoll.
Knoll.
Not the grassy knoll. No, the knoll.
Anyway, picks and bans. Looks like ICCU ATM has decided not to ban immediately.
They don't know what.
And Dave Matthews Band is going to ban Hawkeye here.
I wonder how.
I'm kind of surprised that they didn't choose to take out
take out a
something like
Magic or
like
take
Mr.
out-
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I want my $2. He not only wants his $2, but he wants his Mr. Fantastic because he's a little bit of a one-trick on that super spectacular. I mean, he's good at it, so don't get me wrong. But, yeah, it is a little surprising that they'd forego a ban in favor of really no benefits.
Yeah, Thor is going to be locked in here for Boise State. ICCU going to have to wait to see who they choose to ban here.
Watch it be Cloak and Dagger. Just to
Right.
I would not doubt it, just because Cloak and Dagger has so much staying
I mean,
power
they have a lot of
with
good
their-
options just based on what they saw last time. It does look like it's going to be Groot. I mean, Groot can be a pretty nasty tank depending on how he gets set up.
Yeah, especially if they give him enough time to set up all of his walls, get some stuff done, and
He creates
just-
a little maze that you have to
Yeah.
run through, and that can be pretty annoying if you just don't want to deal with it.
or heaven forbid you get trapped in the box of doom.
Ooh, they are going to ban Hela. Which looks like Royal
interesting ban.
Ames is going to have to swap off what they were originally thinking here.
No, yeah, they are going to have to swap off, and looks like they're going to be playing a little bit of Sheriff Cop with the Psylocke, or Samurai Cop with the Psylocke pick. And Swag back on the Cloak and Dagger with a Mantis Pocket. It is going to be a very DPS-heavy lineup for the Dave Matthews Band.
I will say, Thor on his own is going to be interesting. Not that he can't do it. Okay, there we go. We see the thing.
It's the thing.
The thing. Yeah, I was going to say, Thor on his own, not that he can't tank, but just the way that his overshields work compared to the rest of the other tanks is a lot trickier to hold on to, and from personal experience, it gets melted so fast, and so only one there can be dangerous, but we're going to see a bit of a mix-up here. I'm excited to see some Wolverine from both sides, and it looks like a Squirrel Girl is actually going to be showing up today as well, so we're getting a big switch up on the characters here.
Yeah, and on Symbiotic Surface, Squirrel Girl is actually pretty good. You
I mean,
just
there's a lot of
shoot
stuff
down
to
the funnel.
bounce around, so it makes
Yeah.
sense. There's a lot of funnel points.
Yeah, you just pick a spot and do not move.
Pew,
you push
pew,
one
pew.
button
Yeah.
and then
And with that, Dave Matthews Band on the attack. ICCU ATM on the defense here. Thor moving up, going straight into the lightning ranged attacks here for their team. Moving forward, creating, that's actually some really good space to be able to take early on here, getting up to the spot and around that corner. They do need to use this cover here as they're not quite out of the woods yet. The thing moving forward, pushing away and then jumping back, trying to stay in reach of the supports here.
Wolverine got the kidnap. Onto
Danger.
Magneto.
Oh, and Bobby is down. Dr. Slunk is able to go through. Chair overtakes down the Psylocke as we see the webs going out from Disco Pangolin here. Going to heavy focus on that, though. They do not want that to stay through. And as I want my $2 goes down, Thor left on the field, solo tanking for a bit as they continue to contest this point.
Oh my, already
What did I
has
just
Swirl
hear?
Stamp.
Wow. Yeah, jumping away. I don't blame Thor here as we continue to watch Gaming Beaver just try to find some room to work with on this point. Moving forward to the supports, able to take down Luna. That is one down. Invisible Woman in the back, and Squirrel Girl, but kidnapped by the Wolverine, just barely able to get away and recover their health.
Yeah, is able to get out, back to Auric Awakening, just being able to cycle that really well. And that's almost a pentakill for Slick Roads on the Mantis.
Jeez, and this is why you don't mess with Mantis, you know? With that, Dave Matthews Band is able to claim the objective and start to move forward. I really like this objective, the little symbiote guy moving forward, the little blob. Yeah, as we go around one of those first rough corners here, too.
Goopy, goopy.
Yeah, this is always an interesting sightline if you're on attack. Oh, as we hear ult going through, KOs, however, continuing for
another.
Dave Matthews Band.
Ooh, it took just a little too long.
They're able to get out of it safely here as Chair and Dat Blondie go down. Bobby also being taken out by Psylocke and Thor here. So some ults online. They're pretty comfortable right now with their defense for this escort mission.
Yeah, Disco Pangolin, the only one with an ult currently, but Bobby and that Coyote both really close to theirs as well in the high 90s. Oh, Dat Blondie almost got Dr. Schmunkus on the Wolverine, but the freeze did not last long enough, and out comes the fastball. Is he going to hit it? Nope, unfortunately, it was a grounder. Fortunately, you're gonna have to take a ball for that one, but the show is currently being put on by Luna Snow. That guy Odie able to keep his teammates up, and Bobby is able to just chunk down Gaming Beaver.
Psylocke moving in, using some good maneuverability to get round back to the team after going on a deep dive. Now getting ready around the corner, sees the Squirrel Girl, trying to get an opportunity, able to knock them out, but not before the ultimate goes through. Gotta dodge away before it does any true damage.
Oh, and out comes Psylocke with Dance of the Butterflies in a really good spot to use it. Does it go?
Oh, there it is! Oh, that's a massive damage.
It grabs two.
Ooh, 2 down. Wolverine taking out a third. And although Mantis is out, the amount of people down for ICCU ATM is significant here.
Plus, you still have swag on the Invisible Woman to keep people up, too. So you don't have to worry too much about the healing, since Mantis doesn't do a ton of healing by herself one way or another. But it is a nice supplementary to have. And is the fastball going to come through with the Wolverine? Nope, it is
they're
not.
Just gonna team attack here.
It is just the haymakers diving onto him. Dat Blondie and that guy Oki are both going to go down, but unfortunately, Schmungus and $2 are not going to be so lucky as to get out alive.
First checkpoint down for Dave Matthews Band. 4 minutes on the clock. They've got some room to work with here, but this is also a pretty nasty choke point for both sides, whoever gains the advantage here. So we can see ICCU ATM just pelting the damage through this area, trying their best to make it so none of the players can move through, but Disco Pangolin goes down. That's a cracking point for ATM here, and Dave Matthews Band knows it, pushing forward in front of the escort. Soul the Moon going down as well. Dat Blondie out, and with that, they are able to create a really good opening for the escort here.
Yeah, the swap onto Storm from I Want My $2 is probably the better idea, giving yourself that damage boost, and also getting an upgraded attack from the Thor team up is going to be a little bit more helpful than the fastball from the Thing. While the Thing was getting a lot of
there's the kidnap.
Oh, the kidnap. Just barely missed. He needs to go back to
run away if he can.
Yeah.
Oh, but Mantis might get the same treatment. Able to barely get out of it before being claimed by Wolverine. The Luna Snow ultimate going out, and there's a lot of ultimates for ICCU ATM in here, with Dave Matthews Band fairly low on resources as well. The Stormol is going to go down as a response here. Trying to break the room, but Psylocke kidnapped by the Wolverine. Going to have to watch out. The KO onto Dat Blondie is able to go through, however. The back and forth is insane here, as unfortunately Dave Matthews Band is pushed back. ICCU ATM able to secure the victory here and push them away.
Yeah, unfortunately for them though, not quite able to get Dr. Schmungus or Swag before they're able to fall back to their teammates, but it was enough to keep the momentum from getting any worse for them. Looks like Gaming Beaver looking to do something here. Dr. Schmungus, the only one on their team with any ult, but Disco Pangolin also has one to reciprocate with. But from the looks of things, Dr. Schmungus is looking to do something sneaky. Gets the kidnap onto Bobby, and that is going to be enough to take him out.
Yeah, moving forward once again into territory that they previously lost. Dave Matthews Band emboldened by the full team here, not able to quite break through the defenses as quickly as before. Wolverine pushing Thor away, but the ultimate is going to go out. Actually, multiple all at the same time. The entire team here going for some crazy stuff. And they are going to get a response from Disco Pangolin, but Pangolin goes down. They aren't able to fully capitalize on the ultimate here, and that does create room for Dave Matthews Band. They're getting close, pushing back the Magneto. not able to fully knock him out, having to move back to the defense point as Luna Snow able to sneak behind and try and stall them out a little bit longer.
Yeah, that Gaioki was able to stall the point for a little bit, and it looks like Dat Blondie is going to get a lot done taking out Dr. Schmungus, but also going down low enough for I want my $2 to finish it off. And with 4 people on the point, I don't think they have enough time to get back. Nope, they don't, and Dave Matthews Band manages to complete the map with just under a minute to go.
And I mean, a really good position for them to be in regardless, even if they hadn't been able to get there, was still so close to the end that once again it puts ICCU ATM in a rough spot of having to try and match that completely here. And I think, again, we were talking about that like DPS difference in the previous one. I think we're seeing a similar effect here. We're going to have to see those switch-ups. Now that Dave Matthews Band is on the defense, they might lower that a little bit, trying to look for some more just opportunities to hold down the point. Could be the opportunity ICCU ATM needs here.
Yeah, or even just characters that are a little bit better at anchoring down on the site, like Penny Parker, like we were seeing getting swapped to. But it does look like we're going with the tried and true Gamma Radiation package. We got Game and Beaver on the Hulk giving Royals and I Want My $2 some pretty significant buffs to their already strong abilities. Unibeam going from, I believe it was 90 damage per second in its base form to almost 130 in its powered up form.
Yeah, it's
is
pretty
incredibly intense. And that thing melts tanks faster than than almost an entire team shooting at once.
Yeah, so it's a very good team up and a good position for Dave Matthews Bands to take early on here, especially in this hallway. We talked about it earlier, but this hallway is so devastating. It's so small. It's a great spot for pot shots and a lot of damage. So, you know, Iron Man getting that boost is going to be good, though we see jumping right out here as they're getting pushed back already by the abilities. Moving straight in, Bobby is taking the brawls right there. Dat Blondie kidnapping some. Dr. Strange is kidnapped and brought to the back line, though he is able to fly away, just barely getting away before it was too late as Bobby goes down. However, Royals up top is creating some room for the team. Oki taken out, allowing Dave Matthews Band to move forward.
Yeah, tons of damage from both sides, and it looks, Dat Blondie being shot through by Dr. Schmungus is going to put a stop to that advancement. Looks like the hook is coming out. Nothing quite caught in it, but the Moon Knight Onk is going to force a lot of attention to be brought to it. It doesn't do a lot on its own, but it allows Moon Knight to get a lot more damage off and build his ult incredibly quick. Swag looking at their ult here pretty quick, as well as Slick Wolves, and there goes the Fist of Khonshu. Not quite able to find anything, but splitting the team so that way no one can be healed, but forcing Mantis ult. Royals is able to pick up 2 in the process, but that is a ult for ult trade, and I feel like ICCU is going to take that every day of the week.
Yeah, Dave Matthews Band still holding this line, though. They have not yet been pushed off this area.
Disco Penguin back on the Punisher. Like we saw in the last game, we didn't see it, or in their last matchup against ICCU Bankers.
Yeah, we
didn't see it in the last round.
Yeah, we see you just ready and waiting in the air. Royals aim going around the side here, looking for those opportunities for pot shots, trying to avoid these shields as best as possible. Trying to stay near the team as well, not wanting to get too risky here. Any player going down could be the point that ICCU ATM needs to kind of barrel through here. Dave Matthews Band having to just be careful. Three are down. Okay, they're going to go. But the Luna Snow ult is going to be a rough counter there for Bucky. Dave Matthews Band not really able to find anything they can do now.
Not only the Luna Snow ult, but also the Cloak Terror Cape as well, being able to keep them off the point. But who is Iron Man going to solo ult with this invincible pulse cannon? Oh no, it's not going to be a solo ult, but it is going to grab 2. Might not have been the Invisible Woman, but it did cancel out a lot of healing. Dr. Schmungus on the Black Panther. Out comes Slick Rhodes with the Mantis ultimate. Meteor M comes out from Bobby trying to get a pick. Unfortunately, it doesn't get a kill through it. Wolverine ult out, manages to find Royals, but Schmungus taking out Soul is going to force them off the point. 2 ticks for ICCU ATM. but unfortunately that is not going to be a good enough credit score in order to capture the point.
Yeah, a minute left. They really need to find what they can to get through this defense. They've done it before. We've seen it happen. But unfortunately, the tanks are up in front, really preventing them from getting too close. Going behind the Magneto here and just punching as much as they possibly can. Gaming Beaver creating that room. Same with I Want My $2. Putting up the shields, blocking those pellets, and just stopping anything from being too crazy. They're going to have to be careful as well. Hulk is at his ultimate. He can get even angrier than he was before if he so chooses, creating an even worse position for ICCU ATM.
Disco Pangolin does break out Judge, Jury, and Executioner, and unfortunately takes down Gaming Beaver before he can use his ultimate. Is it going to be enough to stop him? No, they do find two though. That Gaioki taking out Dr. Schmungus, and unfortunately for them, Royals does go down as well. Swag is still next to the point with his ultimate. Is he going to use it to stall? Nope, he is not. He is getting out of there. Point goes to ICCU ATM.
However, they do have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to move to the next checkpoint. And we did see how long it took for them to be able to get to that first one. So it's going to be a question of if they can do it faster. They need to pick up the pace here if they do not want Dave Matthews' band to shut them down. As we see Hulk already jumping into the fray. Once again, ultimate's up. He's going to activate it, getting angrier than before. Health up and damage as well, as the entirety of the ICCU ATM team is taken out by all players here. I believe I saw an Iron Man ult go through as well.
The Iron Man got 3. I don't even think that Gaming Beaver was necessary to use his.
No, but we did get to see it go off. Also, just jumping into the air, activating at the same time. Pretty cool to see. But that is going to stall for a good amount of time. ICCU ATM now having to run back to the point. Magneto trying to get as close as he possibly can, but Disco Penguin is taken down by I Want My $2.
Yeah, Hulk trying to take down Soul the Moon on the Invisible Woman, manages to get them. And it does look like this is going to be the spot where ICCU ATM is going to have a little bit of trouble. You got to get up that high ground. There's a lot of spaces for people to be sticking out. But with 3 ultimates on the board, there's a lot you can do. Oh, Dr. Schmungus, though, you can see his outline in the corner. Just ready and waiting.
Let's see. And I just love Iron Man just popping up right above, away from everyone, preparing to use the beam here to get some extra damage up. Not able to quite find the contact he wants. You know, there's a lot of players in his view now, but it's not going to go through. Disco Pangolin taken down by I Want My $2. And the Hulk in a dangerous spot, going to banner form as more ults go through.
Wait, it got eaten by the Magneto ultimate.
That's insane. Oh, Luna Snow's ultimate is active, though. It's going to create some room once again for ICCU ATM. But there's not a lot of them in the area. They are able to just kind of clean up with that guy Oki going down after the ultimate, and I believe I heard Mantis activate her own in response, giving some room back to Dave Matthews' band. 7 seconds left on the clock. ICCU ATM able to activate another ultimate, getting those KOs, holding it down. Dave Matthews' band still has control of the area, though there is one player holding line as best they can. Control goes back to Dave Matthews' band, and the overtime clock's down. 2 players down for ATM, Bobby and Soul the Moon, and with that, Dave Matthews takes their second win, now at the final point they need to win it outright.
They've taken their 2 steps, you might say.
Yeah.
But still, there's 1 left that needs to be taken. 3, this is a best of 5. 3 maps to win. I Want My $2 once again finding himself at the MVP screen, and really, this is where, if you are the ATMs, you need to adjust your loan strategy. You're trying to sell these really high loans, and it is just not working. You are being stonewalled by the customer.
Is not working.
Yeah.
They do not want to take the deal right now.
They do not want to take it at such high APR. And honestly, with the interest rate so high, I mean, you can't really force that on the customers at this point. You need to lower it down. You need to simplify your expectations.
I think that's one of your favorite words tonight, APR.
Actually, it's 3 letters.
3 words, acronym. Are you happy now?
Yes, that is.
It's your favorite phrase. There you go. But yeah, I mean, the point still stands. Dave Matthews Band, their strategy has been working. ICCU ATMs, it hasn't been working in the same way. They got shut down at a point where Dave Matthews Band was able to push through, and if they can't figure it out, that's going to happen again in this match.
Yeah, especially, and they really need to figure something out that is going to work, because just running blindly in is not going to work every single time. It worked a few times on their offense, just running in with the Punisher ult, but when you don't have that Punisher ult to fall back on, you kind of lose that really large sense of damage and pressure that you would have otherwise. And honestly, with the team comp that they are running, they really need to find those early picks. Iron Man was just sitting up there pretty much the entire game, and nothing was going on. He wasn't getting pressured. He got a lot of free picks, and not to mention the pulse cannon almost having 100% accuracy. Oh, we don't talk about the Magneto incident, but it does look like Yggdrasil is next on our world tour, and what might be the final map of this series.
Yeah, and although right now it's looking to be a Boise State potential lockout if ICCU can't figure out what their strategy is going to be, as we're getting ready to jump into this match, we have to remember that Boise State's, success is a lot in part to thanks to ICCU. Boise State Esports has won multiple national championships and piled up more than 1,500 wins. ICCU is looking after your daily balance. So, although, we see Boise State is holding pretty strong, that's a lot thanks to ICCU. So visit ICCU.com.
Honestly, I think it would be really funny if we disabled singular characters, so only one person can play one character, and just everybody played Jeff for this potentially final one.
I would love that if also they added them all just singing the theme song together, just all of them doing the little. Yeah, honestly, that would be a really funny April Fool's game mode. You have Jeff all singing together, all fighting, brawling it out. Also, just the idea of multiple Jeffs trying to activate their ultimate at the same time.
I mean, there was a game mode. It was Jeff's Blizzard Bash or something, and it was a 4v4 Jeff versus Jeff, and there was legitimate tech to it. You'd wait to use your ult until somebody else used theirs, so that way you'd eat that Jeff who's currently got your teammates. Then you'd spit out your teammates and kill the other Jeff.
Yep, and, fun times. We love the Jeff versus Jeff brawlouts, but we won't be seeing that most likely depending on this. But maybe if the bans go the right way, we'll see. So far, it looks like Groot and Magic are banned, but Thor and Magneto are making it through. So we're getting ready to see these final loadouts.
It's good to see that I think the ATMs learned a little bit from the last one, that they needed that second ban. Just having that one final ban, a little bit less options for your enemy to play around, it makes it a little bit easier to determine what they are going to play. But
the Magic ban is interesting. I'm curious to see what their second ban is going to be here if they take it. Okay, it's going to be Mantis. They've been burned enough by the Mantis plays here.
It's a good thing that Slick Rhodes is going to play Moon Knight one way or another.
Yeah.
All DPS.
Oh, dear. No, okay. I was
there we go.
I doubt that's where this is going. So far, we've got 3, 4. Magneto hanging on. Royals is debating the Psylocke. No, they might be locking in all DPS.
I mean, it would be kind of funny. And they are on attack first, so it would make more sense for him to play DPS here.
This is going to be an interesting first interaction between the two teams, as they're going to realize there is a lot of damage on this side. And I mean, Mr. Fantastic has some tanking.
Oh,
with
Jeff!
How he works. Oh, Jeff! Okay, so
El Jefe!
so what I'm seeing is it's going to be DPS and Jeff.
Oh, DPS Jeff.
DPS Jeff.
Yes. Just get behind him and Hawk Tua on them.
Now getting ready to jump in. We get another escort map.
I have just been informed that this will be my final stream, so
all right,
time
make it
to make it count.
Yeah, time to make it count.
Oh, it looks like ICCU ATM has lost 4 players.
Oh,
wait. What just happened? Oh, big disconnect apparently. That is not great.
Ooh, oh.
It is now a 2v0.
All right, so as we roll that one back, get it ready to go back into that matchup. I was about to talk about the GOATs because I love You know, I love that escort. You know, I really like the choices for the escorts in Marvel Rivals just because, you know, we've got Herbie, you know,
Yeah.
going to
In his
go
little
save his friend Friday because, you know, I mean, vampires can't infect a robot. Like,
That's
you
true.
know, it's fine. So he's got to go, and then everyone has to go help him. Like, at first they're like, don't do it, Herbie, and he goes. And then we've got our little symbiote friend. I don't know the full lore behind that one, but I do really like him.
It's a part of Null.
Oh, it's a part of Noel trying to keep it away.
Yeah,
like,
so
no.
basically the thought behind it was we either keep it on the surface and it spreads on the surface, or we throw it in the core, which might infect the core, but it would keep it from getting to the surface.
Which,
easily.
I mean, you know, Noel being Noel, we don't really want him going anywhere near the surface, anywhere here he can get away. And then we've got the goats.
Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder.
Yeah, we love them. Yeah. All the mythology behind, like, Thor and the goats is really goofy.
It's kind of goofy,
It's goofy. I mean, you know, I was thinking about it because the proportions for Thor, right, from what we're used to, like, you know, you look at, like, Marvel movies and you look at that, and then you see Thor, and he is just massive in this game, right? But if you think about, like, mythological Thor, right?
Thor
he
was
is a big guy.
Yeah, he
like,
was a short and squat dude. I mean, he wasn't tall.
But he was also just a very wide, big dude.
Yeah.
And so, you know, in a way, it's like, at first I'm like, why is he so, like, just massive? I'm like, no, I guess it makes sense. You know,
Yeah, I
if you
think the
about
closest thing that we've ever gotten to like a mythologically accurate Thor was God of War.
Yeah, I mean, they were going for that a little bit more with the idea, and it makes sense because, you know, Thor was a lot more, a lot less, like, construction worker strong than he was, like, bodybuilder strong in, like, the lore and mythology vibes. And so, you know, that I would say that. But, you know, I do love a lot of the designs that they chose for Marvel Rivals, the way they decided to do, like, the different, like, base models of all the characters. I think they all look really cool. I'm a big fan of Thor's. Thor's is really neat. And I think plays in well with, like, his mechanics being a little bit, like, you know, centered around all the lightning and also a lot of the levitating, like, floating around, like, not as completely in your face as you would expect from him.
Yeah, I mean, you give a man a hammer and everything looks like a nail, unless you're Thor, and then you channel lightning and you're just like, I smite thou.
I mean, he's not even holding it. He's literally just letting it float around him as he's just...
He's almost like a waterbender from Avatar. He just like...
Shouldn't he be a firebender because they're the ones who lightning bend?
No comment. I'm more meant because he's really graceful with it. Because, like, firebenders, if I remember right, they're like a mix between earth and water, where they're like really like tough.
I mean, it just depends on the style, but, like, you know, the thing about, like, a big thing that they bring up in the show is, like, that you can kind of adapt between the, like, styles, like, learn from them. And I think that's something that, like, if I remember, Zuko did, because he learned a lot from, like, the waterbenders and the earthbenders, and that's why he ended up beating Azula in the end in that epic final match that they had.
No, you spoiled it.
Sorry, the show's been out for, like,
13-ish years.
yeah, you know, so my bad.
Even longer than that. I think it's been out since like early 2000s.
I know. I mean, the new Avatar show is close to coming out at this point.
What new Avatar show? There's no new Avatar show. Are you crazy?
Are you not a fan?
Well, no. It's like Pacific Rim. There should have been a sequel.
Should have been a sequel.
No, there should have been a sequel.
I mean, there's also the movie with the original gang.
Yeah,
too,
true.
That's planned for your adult life. We get to see, but we
And
are
we're
back in. The session is reconnected. You know, we talked about the gang, and the gang is back. Looks like no.
The shark everybody hates is back.
Yeah, no, not going to be any changes, I presume, in the bans or picks. That would make sense to not change anything based off of disconnects. We know exactly what's going to be happening here, and we know exactly who everyone is going to be locking in for the most part.
Now they're going to ban Jeff right here.
Did they even get to see Jeff before he got, like...
I think maybe one person got a glimpse.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I thought somebody rage quit when it was just like one person who left.
I know. I was like, what happened? And then everyone was gone, and you're like, oh no.
Oh no. This is no bueno.
Yeah, and once again, yep, picks are the same, bans are through, and with that, everyone's going to lock in. Namor making his appearance today.
Yeah, I mean, not a terrible pick, especially with how much of the backline that has been dove. And giving them
well, and like
Luna
looking
Snow
at
split
what
as
they're
well.
currently facing, yeah.
I mean, they can't see what they're currently facing.
But it's going to be
yeah,
good.
I mean, having an Iron Fist, Spider-Man, Mr. Fantastic, and most likely Jeff in your backline is not going to be super fun. So having someone to help alleviate the pressure is going to help out a little bit. And Gaming Beaver is actually going to be swapping onto the Venom.
They wanted to give a little bit more room. One tank, you know, just
Mono tank.
mono tank, mono support as we jump into this matchup. Now, hopefully we get to the goats, and no one disappears this time.
Goats? But I see DPS. There's just supposed to be tank and support in goats.
Shh. All right, getting ready. The defense is up. I appreciate seeing Wolverine like all the way up. Everyone else is back here hanging out. He's looking for his first target.
He's a little bit antisocial, you know?
Yep, Iron Fist. Oh, Iron Fist.
Oh,
doing
no,
what
he
does
doesn't
best.
see it. Oh,
He
he's
doesn't
not
know-
going to go
Oh,
for
but he's
it.
going to run above, you know, using the walls to hide, and they're not going to see him immediately. He's going to go for his first target here in the back line, but
squid.
Namor is right there, and he takes a hefty amount of damage before having to back off and heal himself.
I will say Jeff died immediately in that initial engagement. That was kind of funny. But back
Yeah.
on to the Namor with the Iron Fist. Unfortunately, the squids. Unfortunately, Iron Fist, even he is allergic to calamari, so, you know, doesn't really do a ton. Slick Rhodes is going to be able to take out Disco Pangolin in the engagement. It's a Moon Knight v Moon Knight out here, and also finding that
down.
Gaioki. And one shot as well.
Oh, but they see Wolverine hiding around the corner. Moon Knight and Iron Fist moving in with Jeff. Wolverine trying his best to run away, but he is being chased down. With that, he is out, and they are able to get the knockout with Moon Knight also gaining his ult. Good one to have when you're trying to keep people away and clear off your escort spot.
Yeah, you just throw down your Ankh, pull people towards you, and then you throw down your Fists of Conchu and pummel whoever happens to be at the wrong spot at the wrong time, and big damage on Soul
Damage.
Moon.
Ankh also going
Ouch.
down. It's going to get worse.
Oh, and that Gaioki is also going to fall, and Bobby unfortunately walks straight into Conchu's fist. Conchu is quite the boxer to have these this good a fist movement, not gonna lie.
Yeah, grappling hook up, looking for these early picks, putting the Ankh down. Oh, just the amount of damage once the Ankh is there is so rough, and Mr. Fantastic pushing up farther there. Can't just easily remove that presence. You see someone in the corner, Iron Fist locking on, ready to move in. That's so horrifying.
It's like
to
a
see him.
missile. The missile knows where it is at all times.
Exactly, and two people down to Spider-Man and Moon Knight as well, clearing a lot of space here for the escort that is actually pretty far behind as they're just trying to clear that space and move back. Bobby trying his best to back up, but it is to no avail as they are down for the count, and they're now going to start moving the goats back up again.
And unfortunately for Iron Fist, Gaming Beaver, he has not really been able to crack the defense. That is that Gaioki. Just keeps dying right before someone else takes the credit for his kill. I will say, though, Dr. Schmungus is putting in some serious work. Oh, the Jeff self-sabotage. I wonder how this is going to work.
What's the game? What's the game?
Oh.
Are they just doing like a I feel like
Surprise
this is
attack, but unfortunately
think
right
it's
into a Wolverine ultimate is not going to
Oh,
work
but
out
he's down,
super
but
well.
he is down.
I am ready to.
Unfortunately, at the expense of most of their team members.
Yeah, and the Luna Snow is going to activate the ult just to add a nail to the coffin there and really cement that. Dr. Schmungus, kind of the only person hanging around at this point.
He's just doing Spider-Man things.
He's just Spider-Man, and yeah, I mean, he's running on the wall. It's the rest of his teammate arriving, waiting up here. With all of them back, going to move in.
Oh, big damage. Big damage on the Moon Knight. Slick Rhodes unfortunately falling to Disco Pangolin, but Dr. Schmungus quick to avenge his teammate right before going straight back and trying to take out this Loki, which does happen. One swift uppercut, and that is a broken jaw for Loki. And it looks like the rest of the team is going to be pushing right back out as Dr. Schmungus is soon to follow right back to his team. Oh, Jeff got absolutely annihilated. Not right there. I can't even sugarcoat that one.
Oh my gosh, look at him.
Bye-bye.
Oh, as Bobby is duking it out with Swag right
the
now.
cheaper Town Hall, it's here. And unfortunately, it doesn't get a ton of value, but Dr. Schmungus and I Want My $2 are going to capitalize on it. Swag manages to take out one chair and Bobby, and that is going to be a second checkpoint for the Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah, Dave Matthews Band making some steady progress here. Iron Fist just hanging above. I mean, this is such a dangerous area as they're now able to move through previous spawn spots, create some room for sniping here. They're able to spot them. Ooh. Kind of that's a scary pocket there that you have to be careful of, but ends up looking out for Hawkeye a little bit there, though Bobby is on his tail. Wanting to take him down, Jeff putting down bubbles to give them some room as soon as they want to walk through that area. Pretty safe, though they have to be careful of the squid that Namor put down as well.
Oh no, I don't think Slick Rhodes took that to heart. Jumped right into it.
Yeah, that guy Oki taking down 2 people. With only 2 people on the front line right now. Dave Matthews Band isn't able to make as much progress as they would want. And with Disco Penguin on the Moon Knight, that Ankh is dangerous in front of them, and they can see it here.
Honestly, just Moon Knight in this choke in particular is incredibly good, since you can essentially just shoot the tank and everybody's going to take damage, just like Disco Pangolin just found out, getting a triple kill.
Also, I'd like to note, look at the amount of ults that ICCU ATM has right now.
Ah, yes. Just a few.
Just a few.
Just a few.
I mean, Dave Matthews Band isn't too far behind, but still.
They got Jeff ult. That's essentially like 3.
Yeah. I mean, if they're not careful, they will be swallowed up. And with an escort mission and being near spawn, it's very easy to, you know, they're doing it again.
I mean, second time's a charm, you know. Oh, now comes Meteor M. Immediately. Oh, it doesn't take anyone out, but Slick Rhodes does find 2. Disco Pangolin and that Blondie are quick to retaliate, though, and that guy Oki and Soul the Moon are going to finish it out. Actually, I think I got that wrong. I think it's 3rd time's the charm, actually.
Third time's
We gotta wait for Jeff to build that ultimate up again.
Do it again. Yeah.
Another one.
And again. But Jeff.
Again.
That's a good one. That's a good impression. I think that's how he'd say it. However, we're going to see another.
Oh, he found 2, and Jeff was one of them.
Getting revenge for the shenanigans being pulled here. I Want My $2. Trying to get an ultimate off. It doesn't really do much as Gaming Beaver gets knocked back. ICCU ATM making some steady progress and pushing the point away once again. And we do see some swap-ups as Swag is going to move on to Star-Lord here and go for the ultimate play.
Although nothing really being found. This one's a little bit harder for Star-Lord since you don't have as many angles to play off of. Barely doing any damage in the process.
Once you get around that corner, though, Star-Lord does become very scary because that area is so open. I've seen so many scary Star-Lord ults, but right now that's not here nor there as we're going to see Iron Fist Gaming Beaver jump in with the ultimate, trying to get some damage through. It doesn't seem to work. The Moon's Haunted goes through as well. But it doesn't find anyone, I think. I Want My $2 goes down. Disco Pangolin and Soul the Moon are traded back. We do see some momentum here for the Dave Matthews Band. They have many players on the escort, and they're able to move up to spawn. They know this is an opportunity to shut it down, but there's a lot of people watching the line right now from the top.
Yeah, in comes Gaming Beaver looking for something here really fast. Moon Knight getting pummeled by the block, but unfortunately for him, he is not going to do too much when you have a support helping him out all the way through. Royals almost with the Jeff ult. That is going to be a death sentence for anyone on the point. Looks like it's going to go through. Doesn't find anything. I think it might have found 2 or 3. But he goes down. That's a 4K. The Doctor Strange portal coming in. Just need Dr. Schmungus to live for a little bit longer. Portal goes through, and it's just barely not enough.
However,
they managed to hold it.
There were 4 meters left before they were able to get that 3rd point. ICCU ATM able to shut them down on the escort this time.
Just barely enough to get it through. Maybe if Royals would have used his ult to not eat his team.
To eat people? Like to eat other people than his team.
I mean, it's an all-you-can-eat buffet, and you keep going to the same 6 things every single time. Diversify the palette a little bit.
You can grab both. Just have your entire team run up to the other team, and then you
Yeah.
can swallow everyone if that's the goal here.
Yeah, I've seen 12 KOs from one Jeffel.
Yeah, you can do it. It's not that hard. You got to find a ledge, but you can do it.
Actually, what is the notation for 12? Like, because there's like Deca, and then there's Penta, and for 12.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
I know that 20 is ISO, I think.
It is a
I should know this.
dodecagon. It's a dodecagon.
That's what it is.
A
I was like, I
dodeca
knew
kill.
it sounded. I knew it started with a D. I was like, I should know this. I play with dice in D&D all the time, but
Well, I mean, you just call them like D12s.
Yeah.
You don't say.
yeah. But sometimes we
Fetch,
get bored and call it other things. You know, when we just want to like diversify the vocab.
Roll me a persuasion check. What dice do I use? The dodecahedron.
The dodecahedron. I mean, you would never use the dodecahedron for that, but you know, you never know, I suppose.
Hey, I mean, there are some odd things in D&D. Royals. Oh no, Jeff, why are you there?
Dollars and Royals taken down. Dave Matthews Band forced back here. They do take a little bit more of a standard approach this time, though. They don't add. Yeah, they don't. Well, I was about to say they take a more normal strategy, and then I looked at the support list. I'm like, never mind. But I mean, I guess they're just allergic to tanks this time around.
Maybe. I mean, Mr. Fantastic is basically a tank.
It's true.
He kind of got robbed out of the tank position. It went to the Thing, which I mean he deserved, but like.
I mean, if the Thing was anything but a tank, like.
I think there would have been a riot in the streets.
I mean, there
and
are a
not the
lot
game
of
stuff.
characters that are in spots you wouldn't necessarily expect from them at all, but which can be very refreshing. But yeah, I think the Thing is just like too iconic in that way.
Plus,
And also, then you'd have to make them smaller for hitboxes, and I think a mini Thing would be really silly.
yeah, unfortunately, the Thing does end up going down, and same with I Want My $2, just not able to hold up this point. Dr. Schmungus is going to go to the Magneto to hopefully hold this point for a little bit longer. Meteor M looking to cancel out the Luna Snow ultimate, but he missed. Not going to find anything off of that one. Nobody has died yet from ICCU ATM, but Slick Roads is going to be taken out by that Gaioki. That is going to be a fairly quick capture for ICCU ATM if they can finally finish out the last few members of the Dave Matthews Band.
Gaming Beaver is holding strong right now and has some of the health to do it, is knocked out. Dat Blondie down, but Magneto is around as well. I do think they're finally off the point, however, and that is going to be the first point cap. 4 minutes and 33 seconds that Dave Matthews Band, Boise State Broncos, have to hold this if they don't want to lose this game here.
Yeah, their troll strategy of the first round is not going to work a second time, and unfortunately that does mean the departure of our beloved future plushie material, Jeff.
Future plushie, you say, as though I'm sure there's plenty of bootlegs already
I know,
of him.
but I don't count bootlegs. I don't want my Jeff to have both of his eyes on the same side.
I am ready to put on a show.
Oh, the Luna ult's going out. Wow, that was oh yeah, that was ICCU ATM. That's ICCU this time.
I mean, even
Back
still,
to back, yeah.
getting the Psylocke ult that quick is pretty impressive. Out goes the Cloak and Dagger ult as well, making sure to get Bobby in the process. Swag is the one to finish it off, and the Thing slowly making his way forward after his favorite time.
And
Clobbering
now able to grab the point and move forward. This is a good space to create for themselves in front of this smaller opening here. And, you know, getting some slow but sure move back. That's a really good area to be holding here as we do see some ultimates starting to come online. Though we are going to hear the Scarlet Witch. They need to deal with that quickly, but it's too late. 2 are down. Scarlet Witch able to take them out. Now, without Schmungus or Swag, $2 follow suit. Slick Roads as well, and now it's just Thor with... Yeah, Thor,
Yeah,
just one man on a mission right now to hold it as long as he can, but it's too late. Gaming Beaver goes down.
I'm hearing a little bit of discourse from one of the rooms, but...
Oh, broadcast is broadcast.
Oh, it is broadcast.
Broadcast, and it's all right. We can see Dave Matthews Band starting to lose their touch a little bit here. If they're not careful, this goes to game.
No! Oh, almost going down to the horn of Namor. I don't remember what that's called, but
yeah, Namor almost
took
got them. Psylocke having to move back away. Almost getting some good damage in. The ultimate ready to go and going to be used immediately here. Trying to get through as many people as possible, but I hear that Luna ult once again. The Adam Warlock is the only one to be taken out.
I mean, he takes out Adam Warlock, but he can just come back.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole
like
gimmick.
right now.
Yeah.
So
And there he
it was
goes.
all for naught. Man, Dave Matthews Band really struggling to make a big hit on the charts.
Okay, Thor looking for that opportunity.
Oh, frozen.
Oh, but he's
Unfortunate.
frozen.
He probably would have got that kill too, but unfortunately, Disco Pangolin, a little bit too smooth with those moves.
I want my $2. Summoning the Wolverine to his hand,
His
getting ready
Pokemon.
for the throw.
Wolverine, I choose you. Oh, no, he's not going to throw it that early.
There he goes! Launching him forward into the fight as Thor here.
Unfortunately, Wolverine was not very effective, and it was the trainer who ended up fainting in this scenario. But Dave Matthews Band once again forced to fall back.
This is a dangerous spot for them here, too. We saw how deadly this was for Dave Matthews. If they can't shut this down, ICCU ATM might be able to push through. They knew how to get around it. Soul the Moon is taken out, but he's revived by Adam Warlock, so they aren't able to make much of a headway here.
Big ult out of Slick Roads, though, doing a ton of healing, and unfortunately for Wolverine, pushes him right into Cloak and Dagger ult, which means that he is not going to be able to do a ton. I want my $2 and Gaming Beaver are both pushing forward along with Dr. Schmungus, and it looks like the flow is starting to come back to Dave Matthews Band. I'm not sure where it went in the first place, but it is back now.
And with a double, they're able to push them all the way back to spawn, giving them some time to regroup, but taking a lot of time away from them on this escort and pushing it farther away. After all, they just need to get, they don't even have to get to the checkpoint here. They just have to get a little bit past it. Anything they can do, and so Dave Matthews has just got that at all costs as the next altercation begins here, being pushed back away. Swapping from Dagger to Cloak here. Royals coming back around, getting some heals as Bobby takes down Beaver. Tank going down again. Magneto pushing up as well, creating a lot of pressure here on Bucky and Dagger.
Man, Loki with the shots onto I want my $2, hopefully keeping him up for just a little bit. Wolverine gets caught in it, and it looks like Swag's going in with the Cloak and Dagger ult, dealing tons of damage when hit by Meteor M. No healing for you with that ultimate. Unfortunately,
Thor? Oh, it doesn't find anything. They are prepared and they're able to avoid it.
even with that big hammer, that ultimate does sometimes hit like a wet pool duel. Slick Roads using his ultimate in order to use the Cloak and Dagger ult. Hopefully making it work this time without a Meteor M from Magneto to cancel it out. And from the looks of things, tons of ultimates on the board for Dave Matthews Band to use. Just a matter of when to use them.
And ICCU ATM just used the Luna ult, so they don't have as much in the backup. So we see Bucky going in, but it's captured! Royal's aim goes down to Dap Bondi. Disco Pangolin taking down Dr. Schmungus. And with that, Dave Matthews Band is cut down with I Want My $2 moving as fast as he can. The escort is getting close. They don't even need to get all the way to the end
Pokemon.
here. Throw the Pokemon in. They need to stall it out as he charges forward. They're able to get onto the point and stall it, but that's 10 seconds. They need to hold this for, and they need to not be taken out. We see the back and forth here. I Want My $2 holding the line, but Dap Blondie is taking down Royals and Dr. Schmungus. Slick Rhodes is down. The Namor ult goes out. They're able to hold on. Sakayoki goes down to Gaming Beaver, and they are holding strong at the overtime. It is 4-2. They have not been able to get rid of all of them, and they need to be careful. Adam Warlock has his ult as well.
So many ultimates on the board. Out comes Cloak and Dagger ult from Slick Rhodes just to hold on for a little bit longer. They can back up now and get healed, but there are so many people. Out comes the Karmic Revival. Is it going to be enough for them to get
Oh my goodness!
No, it's not. It's too far away. ICCU ATM is not able to pull it out. Dave Matthews Band wins it by only 6 meters.
Whew. Final score, 2-3 for this final matchup. Congratulations to Dave Matthews Band for taking the grand finals. ICCU ATM really making them take a run for their money, though, at that last point.
Yeah, it looked like the game was, it started off not very close. The beginning was a pretty solid victory for Dave Matthews Band. Second, it was starting to even out, but you could still tell Dave Matthews Band had the advantage. And this third one, you could easily tell that Dave Matthews Band squeaked out of this one by the skin of their teeth.
Oh, yeah, they were hanging on for dear life. But that's why I'd like to take one more time to thank ICCU both for this fun competition and their continued support of Boise State Esports. Thanks to them, Boise State Esports has won multiple national championships and has piled up more than 1,500 wins. ICCU is looking after your daily balance, so visit ICCU.com. And we want to thank you again for an awesome rematch. It's always fun to play against our good friends here.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And this has been an entertaining match, to say the least. It started off with Marvel Rivals, then going to college football as a sort of halfway point.
A little bit of a,
ending it off with a
palate cleanser.
Yeah, a palate cleanser. And then ending it off with a really solid match of Marvel Rivals. I mean, you couldn't ask it for it to end any other way.
And overall, good playing from all teams and just a fun time overall. So thank you again for everyone who watched. Thank you, ICCU. Thank you, Boise State, for participating. And that's all we have for you tonight. So we're going to sign off. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next time.
Just a little bit, but is not able to close out Royals. Got him really close, though.
Rhodes taking down Disco. And again, seems to kind of be an enemy here of Mantis. Mantis here, as ICC Bankers have been able to gain some momentum, but with Judge, Jury, Executioner up on the board, we're going to see there the ultimate going out, but that's a lot of damage they have to be careful of. Magneto goes down, so does Mr. Fantastic.
Adhesive for your gloves, unfortunately.
They've got the ball back and a chance now. Deep again! No way, no one's there again! Right on the side!
Oh no! This was looking like a close game.
Getting into him, and Lyric found that out the hard way with a deadly push from Laser.
Oh, however, they're going to want to watch out. Punisher going for the ultimate, able to take down Daydream with the support down the range. Careful, but Strider does not get.
Being able to keep them off the point. But who is Iron Man going to solo ult with this invincible pulse cannon? Oh no, it's not going to be a solo ult, but it is going to be round two. Might not have been the Invisible Woman, but it did cancel out a lot of healing.